A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all-old-time radio.
This I believe. Julia Adams is a young girl from Little Rock, Arkansas, who has achieved what so many American girls dream of. As the result of a series of fine supporting performances, she finds herself in the rather dizzying position of Hollywood stardom. These are some of the beliefs which have steadied her along the way.
From the time I can remember, I have wanted to be an actress. No one in my entire family had ever had artistic yearnings, so they looked upon my girlish dreams as a rather silly and impractical phase, which I would surely outgrow, and then settle down in Arkansas like my more sensible cousins. But the dreams were still there when I reached the age of 20, and I came to a rather shaky decision that I had to try it. In the 5 years since that day, I've come to realize that whatever part of myself forced me to strike out rather haphazardly for Hollywood is the only real wisdom I possess. That part of me seemed to know that no matter how difficult achieving my goal might be, or even if I never achieved it, I would be happier striving toward my dream than if I tried to find security in a life I was unsuited for. This knowledge and quiet surety came from within me, and yet seemed to have its source far beyond comprehension of my wavering and indecisive personality. It alone kept me from quitting during that first year, in which I discovered how right my family was in warning of the difficulties in store for me with no financial backing. I found expensive dramatic lessons and living costs left almost nothing from my check as a secretary, for the very necessary clothes for studio interviews. But of course, what really made me feel like catching the next bus to Arkansas was that in all the offices I managed to invade, not one casting man had looked at me with sudden interest and exclaimed, "That girl has something." My lovely air castles were quickly shattered, and I was forced to listen to the wiser inner voice again. This time it had a new message. Look at yourself honestly. Well, it seemed simple enough, but it turned out to be very unpleasant indeed. One honest glance told me that only by unglamorous hard work over quite a few years could this gangling, unsure Arkansas girl be transformed into my dream of a fine actress. After I recovered from the first shock of this discovery, to my surprise I began to feel stronger and more hopeful about the future. Since then I've found this inner voice always spoke the truth, or made me try to find it for myself. Of course, I wandered away from it at times, or rebelled when it said no to something I wanted very much at that moment. But these excursions away from my wiser self led only to confusion and unhappiness. Strangely enough, now that I've climbed a couple of rungs of the long ladder up, sometimes I find it harder to listen to the inner voice than when I was alone and struggling. It's a very quiet voice, and is easily drowned out by outside babble. But one word from it is worth a book of advice from the best-intentioned friends. The voice seems very stern at times. It makes me accept the responsibility for my failures and shortcomings instead of excusing them or laying the blame elsewhere. But while it takes away petty egotism and silly pretensions, the voice whispers of things that send my thoughts and imagination soaring. It tells me no dream is impossible, because faith in my inner self will guide me to its fulfillment. This belief in my inner self banishes fear and doubt, and frees me to live and love and work to the fullest.
That was Hollywood's Julia Adams, a star whose young confidence is founded on much hard work.
The Anchor Hawking Glass Corporation brings you Crime Photographer.
Hiya, Casey.
Hi.
Look, here comes Tony.
Hiya, Tony.
Hiya, Casey.
You're going to give us that famous line of yours?
Well, I'm here to tell you that tomorrow begins a week dedicated to one of America's most famous institutions, the Boy Scouts of America.
They deserve our full support.
Right, Ethel Burton. Since you've done your good deed for the day, Tony, suppose you proceed.
All right, Casey, I will. Anchor Hocking is the most famous name in glass. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Tony Marvin. Every week at this time, the Anchor Hocking Glass Corporation of Lancaster, Ohio, and its more than 10,000 employees bring you another adventure of Casey, crime photographer, ace cameraman who covers the crime news of a great city. Written by Alonzo Dean Cole, our adventure for tonight, Music to Die By. 9:30 in the evening. In the cheaply furnished living room of a small, cheap apartment, a woman, rather pretty in a drab way, is darning socks. Her husband holds a magazine that he obviously isn't reading. In an apartment above, a radio is loudly tuned in on a dance band. And finally, the woman turns.
That music bother you, dear?
Huh?
Betty Welch is home.
Yeah?
We always know when we hear that radio upstairs.
I hadn't noticed.
No? You haven't read a word in that magazine since you turned it on.
I'm thinking.
Well, why don't you go to bed since you've got a tough day tomorrow?
Fine, sleepy. Why don't you hit the hay? You've got to get up early for your job.
Oh, I wouldn't get any rest with that radio going over my head.
I'll go upstairs and ask Miss Welch to tune it down.
Oh, what's the use, Howard? She wouldn't do it. And according to Lisa's here, she's entitled to play it until 10 o'clock, and it's only a little after 8:30.
So.
Very good-looking gal, Miss Welch.
Yeah. Not bad.
She's caused a lot of jealousy in this building.
So you told me.
Well, all husbands aren't like you, Howard. Some of them around here have been giving that blonde upstairs quite a play.
You hear that stuff from Mrs. Bloomington. That old dame across the hall does nothing but gossip.
Mrs. Bloomington isn't the only one.
Yeah. Look, Ada, I'm pretty restless. I won't be able to sleep unless I get a walk and maybe a couple of beers. I think I'll walk down to Eddie's Tavern and back.
Okay, but before you go, Howard, call up the super and tell him to fix that radiator.
Radiator?
The one in the kitchen.
The super won't fix radiators. Now it's too late.
He will if you ask him. You can get most anything out of John. Call him on the house phone now.
Okay.
I'll go across the hall and get Mrs. Bloomington to stay with me while you're out and the super's here.
What do you want to do that for?
I have a sense of the proprieties, Howard.
Proprieties? Nuts. Hello, super. Hiya, John. This is Howard Clinton, apartment 4B. John, the radiator in the kitchen doesn't work. Can you come up and fix it? Well, I know it's late, John, but be a pal, huh? Yeah. Swell. Thanks a million, fella. Long.
Good evening, Mr. Clinton.
Oh, hi, Miss Bloomington.
Did you get the super, Howard?
Yeah, you'll be right up.
I knew he'd do it for you.
I'll stay here with your wife, Mr. Clinton, so you needn't worry.
Thanks, Miss Bloomington. Somebody might kidnap her if she was alone.
They might. She's very pretty.
You see, I have one admirer, Howard.
Yeah. I'll get my hat and coat.
Don't close your door when you go out. I'm leaving mine across the hall, open, of course. So if my poor husband needs me, he can call, and I'll be sure to hear him.
How is your husband, Miss Bloomington?
Oh, just the same. He'll never be anything but an invalid tied to his bed. That music above distresses him so, but you can't demand that Betty Welch woman turn it off before 10 o'clock, I suppose.
No. Ada, I'll just have a few beers and come right home.
Don't hurry.
See you later, Miss Bloomington. So long.
So long, Mr. Clinton. Don't close the door.
Oh, sure. I won't be long.
Ada, dear, I don't know how you can stand the horrible radio of that horrible woman, Betty Welch, right over your apartment.
a minute. Oh, you did manage to get away, huh?
Yeah. Hello, Betty.
Hello.
You're alone, I see.
Huh, did you expect to find me with a place full of company? You're the most jealous fellow I ever met.
Because I'm so crazy about you.
Take off your overcoat.
Oh, yeah. Thanks.
Have any trouble getting away?
I had to go all the way downstairs and then come up the back way tonight. Oh, Mrs. Bloomington's with Ada, so of course both doors are open.
You sure nobody saw you?
Sure. Hey, what guy's been up here with you?
God.
Look at this ashtray. You don't smoke cigars, do you?
Look, a fella and his girlfriend came home with me last night, and I forgot to empty the ashtray they used. That's all.
Fellow with his girlfriend, huh?
Sure. Come on, I got music on for dancing. How about it?
Let's go.
Hey, I want to dance, not have the wind squeezed out of me.
When I get you in my arms, Betty, I don't care what...
Cut it. Behave yourself.
Okay.
That's better. Nice, ain't it?
So nice I never want to let you go. Never want another guy to hold you close like this.
Stick to your dancing, big boy.
Yeah. Who was the mug who left them cigar butts here?
A very nice fellow. I like him.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm. I can marry him if I want to.
You can, huh?
Mm-hmm. He's a good dancer, too. I hear.
Miss Phelps, open your door. Miss Phelps, this is John the Super. It's after 10 o'clock and everybody in the house is complaining about your radio.
The woman doesn't even answer me, John. She's probably gone out of the room and forgot to...
Miss Phelps!
You're just wasting your breath, John. Use your pass key and open that door.
Yeah, I guess I got him, Miss Clinton.
Well, if you don't, nobody will ever get any sleep.
Yeah, I'll go in and turn that thing off, Mrs. Clinton, right now. I tell her... Holy!
What is it?
What's the matter?
Look!
Oh, that girl!
And my husband.
There's a pistol beside him.
Come away. I called the police. I think the two of them are dead.
When we homicide guys got here, Miss Williams, that radio was still blasting away.
And what did you find, Captain Logan?
Well, the girl, Betty Welch, had been shot at close range through the forehead. She died instantly. The guy, as so often happens in these murder and suicide ideas, didn't aim so good at himself. He only creased the side of his skull.
He's alive then, Logan?
He's hardly hurt, Casey. Just knocked himself out for a while.
Have you questioned him yet?
Oh, plenty. And he's talked plenty.
He admits he killed the gal and then tried to bump himself off?
No, he denies that. But he admits he was crazy about the girl and very jealous of her. And also, the murder gun's been identified as his, and the old dermal nitrate test shows that he fired a gun sometime today.
Well, everything's over for him then, except the hot seat.
I wish all the cases I get were as easy to crack.
Yeah, well, where is the guy? I want some pictures of him.
He was taken down to headquarters just before you got here. But the murder gun's on that table. You probably want a shot of that.
Oh, yeah. German Luger, huh?
Yeah. This Howard Clinton brought it back from the war as a souvenir. He's an ex-GI.
XGI, huh? Give me some more dope about him for my story, Captain. What do you do for a living?
Why, he's a foreman at the big Adolphi greenhouses, a nurseryman and plant specialist.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, was he on the job today, Logan?
Yeah?
Captain Logan, tell me...
Excuse me a minute, Annie.
Yeah.
Well, since he denies the killing, Logan, how does he explain it?
He doesn't. He says something hit him and he blacked out, which isn't a very good story.
Your fingerprint guys went over his gun first thing.
Naturally. The gun was clean.
It's a little unusual for a guy to attempt suicide and then clean the fingerprints off his gun.
It would be most unusual if we hadn't found an initial handkerchief belonging to Clinton on the floor near the gun. For some reason, maybe he didn't intend to commit suicide at first, he had that Luger wrapped in a handkerchief when he used it, and the handkerchief showed a positive in the nitrate test.
Yeah, well, Logan, he worked in a greenhouse where he handles fertilizers that show the same reaction in a dermal nitrate test that gunpowder does. You have no proof that Clinton did this killing.
Look, I figured that fertilizer angle, Casey. Now, listen, amateur. It's Clinton all the way, because nobody could have gotten out of this apartment after the killing.
No?
No. This is the only apartment on the top floor here.
And there's no outside fire escape. And nobody could have gone downstairs after Clinton came to Betty Welch's apartment without being seen.
Why?
Because Clinton's wife in the apartment below had her door wide open. She and another woman, Mrs. Bloomington, sat facing the front stairs, and they're positive nobody came down.
How about the back stairs?
Now, Mrs. Bloomington's husband's an invalid. His door was wide open, and he had a full view of the back stairs from his bed. He saw Clinton sneaking up them, but he saw nobody coming down.
Huh? I guess that settles that, Casey.
Well, witnesses aren't always reliable, Annie.
I'll give you 10 to 1 that the Bloomingtons are reliable.
You talk that kind of odds, my pockets are lined with fish hooks.
Yeah.
Just the same, I want to meet the Bloomingtons.
Yeah, you'll find them downstairs. Go ahead. Get acquainted.
Take care of them customers down the bar, Walter. Excuse me, Miss Williams. You were saying about that Mr. and Mrs. Bloomington?
Oh, to Casey's discomfort, Ethelbert.
Yeah?
They proved unimpeachable witnesses.
Go right ahead, Annie. Rub it in.
I'm going to. Mrs. Bloomington and her husband are terribly respectable, law-abiding people. And the last thing they'd do would be to lie about anything connected with a murder.
I sized them up as okay.
This Howard Clinton's goose is cooked then, huh?
Yeah, but Miss Williams and I have been talking to him down at headquarters, Ethelbert. He's a big, strong-looking bozo who talks straight. I just can't see him killing a woman and then trying to kill himself.
Huh. He didn't talk very straight to his wife.
Well, after meeting his wife, I don't blame him for sneaking up to see that blonde.
What's the matter with Mrs. Clinton? I thought she was quite good-looking.
Oh, Annie, wait a minute. Looks aren't what count in women after you marry them. I know something about women, and I don't trust her.
How do you know so much about women and marriage?
Well, Annie, look. If you haven't suspected it as yet, we press photographers see you women at your best and your worst.
Which is the reason you remain a bachelor?
Which is the reason I remain a press photographer.
Huh.
Well, I know what Casey means, Miss Williams. It's the same with us bartenders. We meet so many phony dames that a guy gets afraid afraid of all the gals who ain't just like you, Miss Williams.
I see.
Getting back to the subject, this Mrs. Clinton had plenty of motive to shoot that blonde and try to shoot her husband, Casey.
I think she had plenty of motive for the killing, but she didn't have the opportunity.
Mrs. Bloomington was with her when Betty Welch was killed. So was the superintendent of the apartment house. Ada Clinton couldn't have done the job.
Nobody could have, but Clinton himself, apparently. See, Annie, tomorrow morning, let's talk to Mrs. Bloomington again.
A short while ago, the Anchor Hocking Laboratories perfected a beautiful new material, lovely as century-old jade green Chinese porcelain, and as strong and heat-proof as the Fire King oven glass you use for baking. They called it jadeite. Expert designers used jadeite to achieve a new beauty in dinnerware. And today, jadeite dinnerware costs far less than the most ordinary dishes. Now, I know it sounds incredible, but it's true. You can buy a beautiful 35-piece jadeite dinner service for less than $5. Yes, less than $5 for 6 jadeite cups, 6 saucers, 6 dessert dishes, 6 salad plates, 6 dinner plates, 1 large vegetable bowl, a platter, and a sugar and creamer set. And jadeite dinnerware can also be purchased in open stock. Now, you'll find beautiful jadeite dinnerware at chain stores, department stores, hardware stores, and most other stores selling chinaware and glass. Ask for jadeite by name. Jadeite. 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 The newest triumph of Anchor Hocking. The most famous name in glass.
Have another cup of tea, Miss Williams?
No, thanks, Mrs. Bloomington. 3 is my limit.
You have another, Mr. Casey?
Sure, Mrs. Bloomington. Yeah, I just love it.
The moment I first met you, I said to myself, there's a fellow tea drinker. Now, what were you saying, Mr. Casey? I remember. I was telling you about poor, dear Ada Clinton asking me to come across the hall to her apartment last night because her husband was going out, and John Felix, our superintendent, was coming up to fix the kitchen radiator.
Yeah.
Well, I just love dear Ada, so I dropped everything and went over with her. She's silly. The super is in her place often, and she's never asked for a chaperone before.
Often?
Casey. Oh, no, don't miss. Ooh, what I'm saying is with you. Because a little girl like Ada could have no personal interest in such a complex John Felix.
Well, what did Felix do to their radiator last night, huh?
Replaced an air valve, he said.
How long did that take?
He was out in the Clinton's kitchen from a little after 9:30 until after 10, when that Welch girl's radio should have been shut off.
At least half an hour.
Yes.
Well, could you see him working out in the kitchen?
No, but it was there.
Huh? Well, Mrs. Bloomington, this has been a delightful visit, but Miss Williams and I must go.
Not before we have another cup of tea, Mr. Casey.
Tea?
You'd like it so much.
No more tea, Mrs. Bloomington. No more tea.
If we're caught doing this,
Wait a minute. Mrs. Fenton isn't home this afternoon, honey, and nobody's prowling around the halls here. There. Someone's locking her door. Come on in quick.
Oh, okay. I can't expect to find anything in the kitchen.
I don't expect to find anything, Annie. I really want to see the layout. Stand in there with me. The slowest mechanic in the world couldn't use up half an hour replacing an air valve. Setup is perfect, kid.
What do you mean?
Kitchen step ladder here. Look out this window, Annie.
A window box.
Yeah. Wide strong. By placing the kitchen ladder on the window box, he could climb outside, easily pull himself through the window above, which is Betty Welch's kitchen.
Clinton and the Welch girl wouldn't have heard him with that radio blaring as it was.
No. He could have gone to the living room above and fired 2 shots with Clinton's Luger that Ada had given him wrapped in an initial handkerchief for her husband, and thinking that he'd killed both Clinton and the gal when he saw them fall, he could have dropped the gun and handkerchief beside their bodies and come back here the same way he went up, while Ada was establishing a swell alibi for him and for herself with Mrs. Bloomington.
Felix and Ada Clinton are in love? Is that it?
No. Oh, no. That Ada Clinton couldn't be in love with anybody. Say, wait a minute, Anne. She's the beneficiary of a $10,000 insurance policy on her husband's life.
No, that came out when Captain Logan questioned her. Didn't mean anything to him or to us then, because she seemed an impossible suspect.
Wait a minute. It's veterans insurance, Annie. GI insurance she has.
Well, so what? You've got a theory and she has GI insurance. It doesn't prove a thing against either her or John Felix.
I think it shows me a way to get proof. Thank you very much for letting me take more pictures of you, Mrs. Clinton.
And for this second interview.
You're quite welcome, Miss Williams, Mr. Casey. Frankly, it isn't easy for me to talk to newspaper people or to anyone at this time.
We appreciate your state of mind, Mrs. Clinton.
I don't think you really can. My husband's going to be executed for murder.
He carried life insurance for you, Mrs. Clinton.
Veterans insurance, $10,000.
Only veterans insurance.
That's so.
Too bad.
Why do you say that?
Well, most people don't thoroughly read insurance policies. Or if they do, they forget the provisions. Have you been like that, Mrs. Clinton?
I don't understand what you mean.
Well, it's my understanding of the GI policy that if your husband is executed for a crime, you get nothing. Did you know that?
No.
You've had a bad deal all around, Mrs. Clinton. I hope your luck changes. Well, let's go, Annie.
Goodbye, Mrs. Clinton.
Goodbye.
Well, she's doing some hard thinking right now, okay?
There she is. Annie, Logan and 2 detectives are all set up in the next apartment with microphones. They've also bored peepholes in the wall. Let's join them and watch and listen.
What do you think, Casey?
All she did was read her husband's GI policy.
Also what looked from here like another insurance policy, and then typed a letter or something, which she just folded and put on the table.
You know, the way she typed that letter or something puzzles me, Casey. The gal holds down an expert stenographer's job, but she used the old Hunt and Peck system.
Yeah, that's right. It's funny, isn't it?
You couldn't see anything of what she wrote, of course.
No. Uh-oh. She's at the house telephone.
And that means a call to Felix.
Well, at least I'll be able to hear when she talks. You two men can't hog the earful.
Hello, John.
There she is.
Can you come up right away? Oh, of course it's safe, dear.
Dear?
Hurry, I want to see.
Casey, I'm afraid your hunch is going to make good.
Forfeit says it does, pal.
It's a bet, Piker. She may be merely romancing with this John. Neither may have had anything to do with the murder.
There's the doorbell.
Now we'll see.
You two will see. I'll only hear.
Hello, John.
My beautiful Ada.
Close the door.
Yeah. You think it's all right for me to be up here now? Some of those policemen might be watching us.
Why should they be watching us, honey? We haven't done anything.
Casey?
That anybody knows of.
That Logan?
Oh, shut up and listen.
Yeah, you're right. I'm just nervous for no reason.
Well, don't be nervous. Anyway, John, if we were watched, you'd come up here to fix a window for me, one that's hard to open.
Yeah. Give me a kiss, my beautiful Ada.
The gal didn't say no.
You really love me, John.
I am crazy for you.
Would you put that in writing?
Eh? In writing?
Yes, I've been thinking. I've never had a love letter from you.
Well, because we see each other every day.
Hey, what's this mush leading up to?
It would take so long
Just
to
write
write.
a short one, John. Get out your pen and write it on the back of this old letter.
Hey, that's the folded paper we saw her type, Casey.
Yeah.
What shall I write, my darling?
Just I love you, Ada.
All right. You are such a funny woman. I never understand you. There. I've wrote, I love you, Ada.
Aren't you going to sign it?
Oh, sure.
Write your full name. John Felix. It'll look better. I'll like it.
Yeah, there you are. Anything else?
No. This will do very nicely.
Casey, I don't get this.
Over my head, pal.
Now, for my love letter, I want another kiss.
Oh, wait, dear. There is something else I want you to do for me. I wasn't kidding about a window being hard to open. It's that one, John. Will you fix it for me?
Yeah, sure, all right. It don't work hard.
Well, lift it clear to the top.
It slides easy.
Oh, that's funny. Maybe something catches it sometimes from outside. Lean out and look.
All right,
She pushed him, Casey. He's falling.
Out of the window?
I get the idea of that love letter stuff now, Logan.
So do I. And now I'm getting that dame. I've got a key to her apartment, so we'll walk right in. Hello, Mrs. Quentin.
Captain Logan.
I believe a man just fell out of your window.
Oh, Captain, it was John, the superintendent. Captain, he didn't fall. He deliberately jumped.
Tell us about it.
Well, he came up here a while ago acting strangely and asked if he could use my typewriter. I said yes, of course, and he sat down and typed something on this paper that he signed, folded up and handed to me. Then he raised that window. Horrible.
Naturally, you hadn't had a chance to read the paper he handed you.
No, Mr. Casey, take it. Captain, you read it.
I imagine it'll be John Felix's confession of the murder of Betty Welch. Don't you, Logan?
I think so, Casey. Together with a declaration by Felix that he's about to commit suicide.
Why do you say that?
In appreciation of the act you just put on, Mrs. Quentin, I'm making you a present of these bracelets. You're under arrest for murder.
We'll join the crowd at the Blue Note in just a moment. You know, physicians who specialize in baby care agree that diet is the most important factor in a baby's health. Today, with the many varieties of scientifically prepared, ready-to-serve baby foods, it's simple for mothers to supply nourishing, well-balanced meals without spending long hours in the kitchen. But there's another factor almost as important as food itself, and that is cleanliness. For this reason, if for no other, you should insist, yes, insist, on prepared baby foods packed in sterile, crystal-clear glass jars. Glass has no harmful effect whatsoever on food, either before or after the container has been opened. The baby food you buy in an Anchor glass container, sealed with an Anchor vacuum cap, is as clean as that prepared in a hospital. Convenient Anchor glass containers, used by most of the better packers of prepared baby foods, and easy to open, easy to reseal Anchor caps, are products of Anchor Hocking. The most famous name in glass.
So the Clinton dame made a full confession, huh, Casey?
What else could she do under the circumstances, Ethelbert?
Ada Clinton persuaded Felix to kill her husband while he was visiting Betty Welch, and they could provide themselves with beautiful alibis. Felix did the job as Casey figured, but of course he bungled it by not shooting Clinton as thoroughly as he shot the girl.
The general result looked okay to Felix and his beautiful Ada, though. But it seemed certain that Clinton would get the chair.
It stopped looking okay when Mrs. Clinton found out she couldn't collect that insurance,
That's
huh?
right. Well, this sap Felix was so crazy about Mrs. Clinton that he'd taken out insurance for her.
At her suggestion.
Oh, sure. So she decided that since she couldn't profit by the death of her husband, he was convicted of a crime, she'd free him and cash in on Felix. So she picked out that letter on her typewriter in imitation of Felix's way of speech.
The letter said he'd killed Betty Welch and was going to kill himself.
Yeah. And Mrs. Clinton folded it so he couldn't see what was typed when he signed his name to the thing.
Say, she's a real bad woman.
Boy, I haven't met him any worse. Hey, wait a minute. That doggone Logan.
What's the matter with Logan?
Well, he didn't pay me that 4 bits.
Oh, Ethelbert, we forgot to tell you. They're showing some of Casey's pictures at the Photography on Parade exhibit at Rockefeller Center.
Well, gee, maybe I'll get over to see him tomorrow night.
Fine. Oh, we'll all go together. You'll be in distinguished company, my dear fellow.
Crime Photographer, starring Stotts Cotsworth as Casey, is brought to you each Thursday by the Anchor Hocking Glass Corporation, makers of Fire King Oven Glass, Anchor Glass Containers, Anchor Caps and Closures. All products of Anchor Hocking, the most famous name in glass. Photographer is directed by John Deese and is based on the fictional character of Flash Gun Casey, created by George Harmon Cox. Original music is by Archie Blyer, and the program features Miss Jan Miner as Anne and John Gibson as Ethelbert. Herman Chittison is the Blue Note pianist. This is Tony Marvin saying goodnight for the Anchor Hocking Glass Corporation of Lancaster, Ohio, with offices in all principal cities of the United States and Canada. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
This, I believe. Julie Medlock heads the Foundation for Public Information, which is working on the problem of developing a better informed public opinion on world affairs. The enterprise has attracted the active support of such figures as the celebrated philosopher Bertrand Russell. Here now is Julie Medlock.
My creed has developed out of a search for answers to 2 challenging questions. Why are we here, and where are we going? This search has led through many of the world's philosophies and religions, into science and history, politics, and world affairs. It has given me an entirely new sense of values, reshaped my beliefs, and brought about a refocus of my life's work. In the course of this search, I found myself trying to apply the things I learned to daily life. What did this or that experience mean? What had I learned from it? Almost always, when I subjected an experience to honest analysis, I found that where there had been conflict or dissatisfaction, I myself had been at least partially responsible. Not deliberately, but because I had not seen the situation clearly, or had been thinking more of myself than of others concerned. I learned that the way to solve conflicts was to change my own approach and action, so that others would respond to me more constructively. Only much later was I to realize that exactly the same principles apply to the solving of large conflicts, even wars between nations. Meanwhile, I began to try to see objects and personalities, situations, and issues as a whole. First, the surface evidence presented by the five senses, looking at things with a sharpened, new awareness. Then, turning inward to causes, and outward again to foresee the inevitable results. At first, I did this deliberately, step by step. But one day I realized I had developed a new perspective, a kind of triple vision in which I could see the surface and what lay behind it and beyond all at once, like an instantaneous, intuitive knowing. But remembering the mental discipline I had undergone, I knew there was nothing esoteric about it. I had merely been practicing meditation, the specific method of intense concentration upon principles underlying appearances and events, practiced by people the world over and about which I had often read in books. Then another change became apparent. I had gradually lost interest and was free of things that once had seemed vastly attractive and important, like possessions and social pleasures and personal desires. Now these seemed trivial, and what was newly important were the large impersonal problems which condition the lives of millions everywhere, like poverty, hunger, disease, ignorance, and fear. I found that I cared very much what happened to people. They seemed to me to be all one human family with common interests. I found I was angry about the unsolved problems, and I wondered what I could do about it. What I actually did was to give up a secure life and a profitable business of my own to search for practical solutions to world problems. I saw clearly now that if inevitable social change was not to come about by violence, the outmoded institution of war, then it must come about by education. And this meant better communication, the development of an informed public opinion to demand wise public policy, outlaw war, and free man's energies and world resources for the service of all mankind. Communications methods developed in this search are now ready for use. Specifically, what is my creed? I believe in the oneness of all life, that brotherhood is a fact in nature, not an idealistic concept, that men are spiritual beings gaining through physical, emotional, and mental equipment, and through many lives, the experience which leads to conscious awareness of the world about us and within. I believe there is a plan of evolution for mankind, that all men are traveling the evolutionary path together, though at differing speeds, from ignorance to knowledge, as an old prayer describes it, from the unreal to the real, from darkness into light, from death to immortality, from chaos to beauty. I believe the world crisis presents an opportunity to make the right decisions and thus speed man's progress, that all of us can help fulfill this opportunity, and that the time is now.
That was Julie Medlock of New York, who puts her philosophy into action through her work in communications. She is a native of Port Townsend, Washington.
Crime does not pay.
Look, baby, why don't you get smart?
This attitude don't get you nothing except maybe a pretty little map all mashed in.
This attitude will get me plenty after you bring your boss here.
Listen to her. The gall of the frail.
Hey, you don't think the boss will come to see you?
I know he will, after you give him my message.
Now we're a couple of messenger boys.
That's all you were in the first place. Now tell your boss this. Tell him I've got a racket that means dough, real long green Mazuma. Got that?
Keep stealing, kid.
Tell him I know how he and I can get into the chips 10 times over what he can pick up in this penny-ante chiseling on card games. And tell him I'm not too bad to look at. And he might do himself a lot of good just by dropping in on me, say, tomorrow night.
In the interest of good citizenship and law enforcement, we present Crime Does Not Pay, based on the famous Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer series of short subjects. In just a moment, you will hear Cards and Spades, starring Susan Douglas. Now, Crime Does Not Pay, starring Susan Douglas as June Hathaway in Cards and Spades. June Hathaway was sweet and pretty and cute. Make no mistake about that. The women who came to her apartment each afternoon thought of her either as a daughter or as they thought of themselves at her age. This was reasonable rationalization for women who sought some excuse for their infatuation with the sight of cards and the sound of the chips clicking against each other on the table. Where June had come from, where she was heading, were matters of no moment to these women. They were matters of great importance to June, whose sharp, cold eyes belied her sweet face for anyone who saw them at unguarded moments. June had a plan. The afternoon card game was only the beginning of that plan.
I'll raise 5 blue. 5 and 5 more call you, honey. There you are. 2 pair. Not good enough, darling. Full house.
Oh, winning streak, eh? One more deal. I've got to get some of it back. As it is, Dave's beginning to wonder.
Oh, you too, honey. Mine wants to know where all the money goes.
Cost of living's always a good excuse.
Not with Ralph. He follows the index in the paper every day. Whatever an index is.
Don't tell me, ladies, that the cost of living is an item among you.
Hello, June.
Oh, dear.
After all, where one of you loses, the others win. Isn't that right?
Right, I suppose so.
I was sharing the wealth and having fun besides.
You're right, June, darling. Absolutely right.
You're a bright girl, June. You'd have been a great success in business, I think.
I couldn't wait for that. Me, a career girl with success at 50? No, thanks.
You are smart, though, June. Oh, my goodness. 4:30 already. I promised Dave I'd pick him up with the car at 5.
Oh, excuse me, the door.
One more hand, girls. That's all I have time for. I'll give.
Don't make a move, sister. This gun ain't no water pistol.
You know what's good for you? You keep your trap shut.
But I can't...
Shut up, you hear? All right, ladies, this is a stick-up.
Oh, no.
Coach will be in the bedroom, Huey. Pick the good ones.
Check. Take your tables and the wallet.
Double check. Yeah, big game you're running here, sister. Yeah, not a bad haul.
It was a big game, you sap.
I got the coach, 4 of them. Not bad. The rest are just dogs.
Oh, my God.
All right, shut up. You're insured.
Got the cash? Let's go.
Got it. Let's ride.
June, call the police, quick, for pity's sake.
You
got
all
to call
crazy.
it.
You want your names in the paper.
I want my fur coat back.
You want to go to jail for illegal gambling? Do you, any of you?
Oh, I didn't think of that.
Well,
No.
I didn't think so. All right, ladies. Cash your chips. The base play's over. Oh, you two again.
Yeah, us too.
Hey, glad to see us, kid?
Like an epidemic of smallpox, I'm glad to see you.
Oh, that ain't nice, baby.
With mugs like you, I don't have to be nice.
Nah, don't be like that, kid. We come back to tell you ought to have protection.
Yeah, you're from mugs like us who bust up card games.
After all, it gets around your game is stuck up every week. The dames ain't going to come to play with you, sister.
I had a decent living out of this. You fatheads bust in, scare away the pigeons. It'll take me a month to build up the business again. I ought to make you give me a cut of what you snagged out of here today.
We don't give no cuts. You cut us in. And boss. He wants you should pay some insurance premiums. Hold up insurance.
Not a dime. Not one thin dime.
You want to run a game, you give us 25%. We collect regular, every Saturday.
No bagman gets a cent from me. I build this business by myself. I'm keeping what I make.
Oh, what a shame. And she's a cutie, too.
Now, look, sister, grow up. The boss controls gambling in this burg. Everybody pays.
Not me. I have nothing to pay with. You spoiled the whole deal this afternoon.
You're gonna pay.
You heard me. I'll say it again. No. N-O. No.
Look, baby, why don't you get smart?
This attitude don't get you nothing, except maybe your pretty little map all mashed in.
This attitude will get me plenty. After you bring your boss here.
Listen to her. The gauntlet is frail.
Hey, you don't think the boss will come to see you.
I know he will. After you give him my message.
Now we're a couple of messenger boys.
That's all you were in the first place. Now you tell your boss this. Tell him I've got a racket that means dough. Real long green Mazuma. Got that?
Keep spailing, kid.
Tell him I know how he and I can get into the chips. 10 times over what he can pick up in this penny ante chiseling on card games. And tell him... Tell him I'm not too bad to look at. And he might do himself a lot of good just by dropping in on me, say, tomorrow night. Yes?
Well, not bad. The boys have better judgment than I thought.
What do you want?
I want in, first of all.
And then?
Then we'll see. Look, Miss Hathaway, are you going to keep me standing in the hall all evening?
You know my name.
I'm Dick Moorhead, known to you by way of Gus and Huey as the boss.
I thought so. I expected Gus and Huey with you.
They're with me, downstairs in the car.
Come in.
Thanks.
Sit down.
I don't mind if I do.
Drink.
No, thanks. I never drink. At a business conference.
Then start the conference.
You had my offer yesterday.
Oh, that was no offer. That was an insult.
Snappy, aren't you? Do you have a counter-proposal?
I may have. If you agree on what basis we're going to talk.
What do you mean, what basis?
Are you still pointing a gun at me?
I'm not even carrying one. Want to search me?
I'll take your word for it.
Go on.
Are we talking as equals?
Gus was right. You do have gall. I run gambling in this town by disposition of the syndicate. You run, or ran, a card game, and you want to talk as equals?
Maybe you are the boss. I don't think you're so bright.
Oh, you don't?
Bright boys don't kill the goose. They collect the golden egg.
All right, as equals. What's your proposal?
That we go partners.
On what? Your game?
Oh, that's chicken feed.
What then?
On what can come out of my game. Enda doesn't like it.
Well, maybe you better draw a blueprint.
Well, it begins to look like it. Look, Richard.
The name's Dick. Richard has been a fighting word as long as I can remember.
All right, look, Dick. 99% of the women who play in my game or did play in it are afraid of their husbands.
Ideal situation.
No jokes. They're afraid, but not the way you're thinking. They don't want their husbands to know what they're up to in the afternoon.
I think I'm beginning to understand.
There's more to it. We might make them pay off a little on a deal like that, but they'll pay off a lot more, and in a lot of other ways if they lose heavily once in a while.
Junie, you're a genius.
No, I just happen to know my own gender.
Well, now that you've given me the idea, what do I need you for?
The women trust me. They know me. I look too innocent, too sweet to be bad. They'll never trust a man like you.
What do you need me for?
A strong arm and, when necessary, and liaison with the syndicate.
Junie, you're a honey. You're beautiful. And you're smart. How did you get to learn all these tricks?
I was born in a jungle. I survived. I saw the other girls and what they were up against. I figured not to be trapped behind a typewriter or in a laundry. And I don't care for the usual career.
So you used your brains.
I try.
You got a deal, partner.
I thought I would have.
Now, how about that drink?
The business conference over?
It's over.
And the social side of our relationship begins?
I think it does. If you want it that way.
Why not? Make yourself at home. Oh, the liquor's in that cabinet over there. You might as well know where everything is around here. I imagine you'll be coming back fairly regularly.
Take your hands off me. Who do you think you are?
Shut up. You wanted the Forsyth and Kirby dames, Miss Hathaway. Boss, you got them.
So I see.
Okay, wait outside, Gus.
Check.
What's the meaning of this?
You'll find out.
I demand to know. Mysterious phone calls. Hoodlums bringing us here in a closed car. This strange man. Really, June, you'd better explain.
I think you'd better explain this, Mrs. Kirby.
Dorothy. That check.
Quiet, Mrs. Forsyth. Your turn will come.
I lost heavily. I gave June a check.
Which I checked on before I cashed it, or tried to cash it. You have no account in this bank, Mrs. Kirby.
You can't collect on the gambling debt in this state. My husband's a lawyer, and I'm...
Can't we, Mrs. Kirby?
And now you, Mrs. Forsyth.
I'm paid up.
You haven't anything you can charge me with.
Except the fact that you're deathly afraid your husband will find out how much money you've been losing.
I don't care if he does.
Call up, Mr. Forsyth. Dick, the number's Jefferson 56703.
Don't call him, for pity's sake. It's as much as my marriage is worth.
How much is your marriage worth, Mrs. Forsyth?
What do you want?
Money. Lots of it. About as much each week as you've been losing. But you'll have to keep on playing, too.
I can't. I haven't got it.
But you'll get it, won't you? Won't she, Dick?
I think so. I know that phone number now.
All right. I'll try. What do you want from me?
You have friends, Mrs. Kirby.
My friends?
They'll enjoy an occasional game of cards.
You want me?
We call them steerers in cruder places, Mrs. Kirby. You are going to steer for us.
I won't. That is, I can't. I can't. I'll lose my friends. You'll fleece them just as you fleeced us. I can't. I can't.
Oh, but you will, Mrs. Kirby. You will. You'd rather have them pay through the nose than go through a scandal yourself, wouldn't you? And a bad check is nasty, Mrs. Kirby. Very, very nasty. You can't, but you will, Mrs. Kirby. You know that just as well as I do.
In just a moment, Crime Does Not Pay will continue with Cards and Spades. Now we continue with Crime Does Not Pay, starring Susan Douglas as June Hathaway in Cards and Spades. The racket worked, and with great success. The women caught in June's web, the mainstay of which was their own desire for the excitement of gambling. The women paid, and in many ways. Beginning with Dorothy Kirby and the friends she brought, June and Dick expanded their activities. For the victims, fear became the dominant feeling of their lives. For June and Dick, power and more power, money and more money became the prime motives. But even these activities can reach a saturation point for the victims. Margaret Forsyth reached that point the morning she came to pay her 5th installment to June.
All right, Mrs. Forsyth, just leave the money. I have a busy morning. Your friend Mrs. Kirby is due shortly.
I thought you might take something in place of money.
From you? The distinguished Mrs. Forsyth? Hardly.
I've come to give you...
Yes, the money. You have it in your bag, Mrs. Forsyth.
I can't. I won't. I've stood it for 5 weeks. I've drawn on my own savings. But my husband's getting more and more suspicious. I'm through. I'm finished. Do what you think you can to me. Try anything. You can't get blood out of a stone.
Never mind the histrionics. Just open your bag and pay and then get out.
All right. I'll open my bag. I'll pay you. I'll pay you exactly what you deserve.
I see. A dainty little automatic. Pearl handle, too. A real lady's gun. Only you won't pull the trigger. You haven't the nerve.
I will. I will.
Give me that gun, Mrs. Forsyth.
Stay away from me. Stay away from me.
With the pleasure, June?
Yes, I did. Take it away from her.
With pleasure.
No, keep away. I'm shoot.
There you are, kid. Loaded, too.
Yes, I thought it would be.
What do you want I should do with the dame?
Oh, teach her a lesson, Gus. Try to leave as few marks as possible.
Oh, that's easy.
No! Don't touch me! Don't touch me!
I wouldn't want I should mark her face, so I twist her arm. Like this. And then I gives her the knee. Like this. And then...
I thought I heard you.
Margaret. Watch closely, Mrs. Kirby, and I'll put lessons for you.
And then I throws her down like this. And when she don't stop yelling, I uses my little piece of rubber hose.
I'll be quiet. I'll be quiet.
Much better. Much better. Well, Mrs. Kirby.
I came to report.
Yes, get on with it.
I can't. Margaret.
Never mind, Margaret, Dorothy, dear. How many friends are you bringing here this afternoon?
3. No, 4. But I don't want to. I'm afraid.
Margaret's very unhappy just now, Dorothy, isn't she? Isn't she? Now, how many did you say you were bringing to our little game this afternoon, dear?
That you, Dorothy?
Yes, Dave. Yes, it's me.
Where have you been?
Out with the girls.
That's what you've been saying for weeks. Which girls?
I won't be cross-questioned, Dave.
Oh, you won't. Well, suppose I say I won't accept the kind of life you've been living and making me live these past weeks.
Really, Dave, this attitude is
Attitude? Attitude? Night after night, I come home to an empty house, to obviously dissatisfied servants, to a house that's no longer a home, and I have an attitude?
You might let me take my coat off before you start shouting.
It's got to stop. These afternoon gallivantings have got to stop.
Oh. I'm to be a prisoner, is that it?
Stop it, Dorothy. I don't know what you're up to, but...
What do you mean by that?
I happened to make a phone call today to your friend Janet. She hasn't seen you all week. And you told me on Tuesday and Wednesday both that you were spending the afternoons with her.
She must have forgotten.
She's telling the truth.
I won't have you calling my friends behind my back.
What are you doing behind my back?
You've no right to say that.
Apparently, I have no right to a decently run home either.
Dave. Oh, Dave, I'm so upset. I don't know what I'm saying.
That act won't work either. Next thing you'll say is your best friend was run over and she's in the hospital. And that's where you were.
I did take Margaret to the hospital.
Oh, stop it. It's no go, Dorothy. She probably is there, or you wouldn't dare try to get me to believe you'd been with her.
Oh, Dave. Dave, if I only could say...
See here, Dorothy. I don't know what's going on, but I'm going to find out. And if you won't tell me, I'll find out some other way. That's a warning, Dorothy. Don't forget it.
You, sent for me, Mr. Kirby? I'm here.
Billings, I understand you're a reliable man in your profession.
Reliable and discreet.
Good. I want you to trail my wife every afternoon until you're positive you know where she spends her time.
And with whom?
Not necessarily. After you found out where, we'll both go to see with whom. I believe that's the usual procedure in these cases, isn't it?
Well, sometimes the husband ain't anxious to go along, but if you want it that way, that's the way you can have it, Mr. Kirby.
I don't like it, Dick. I'm worried about it.
About what? The Kirby dame?
Yes, the Kirby.
Oh, she's bringing in her friends. She's doing what we tell her.
She's too docile.
You bet she's docile. Well, you told me yourself. She saw Gus operate on the Forsyth.
The Forsyth was quiet, too, before she broke loose.
And we taught her the time of day. I wonder how she explained the busted ribs to her husband.
I still don't like it.
Quit worrying, honey. Everything's copacetic. And the dough's rolling in. Besides, geniuses don't ever worry, and you're a genius. I told you that first time we got together.
Hello?
Mr. Kirby?
Yes?
Joe Billings here. We got her code.
Where?
Swank apartment on the boulevard. You want us to go in today?
The sooner the better. Who's us?
Me and a photographer. Pictures are good evidence in divorce cases.
I wouldn't know about that.
Well, you want us to go ahead?
Wait for me. I want to go along. Where shall I meet you?
We're in a drugstore at 9th and the boulevard. We'll wait for you here.
I'll be right over. Why all the mystery, Billings? Do private detectives usually operate this way?
We have to in buildings like this. We couldn't get past the front desk without being announced. That wouldn't do us much good, would it?
Hardly.
So the service elevator, Mr. Kirby, which we run ourselves. Standard practice. 10th floor, Mr. Kirby. Here we are.
Yes, so I see.
I know it ain't pleasant, Mr. Kirby, but you gotta face facts, I suppose.
I suppose so. That's what makes business for the men in your profession.
To the right here. 10F. Yeah, that's right, Mr. Kirby.
Still, no matter how you look at it, it's not amusing.
Okay. Now, everybody know what the deal is?
Yes, sir.
All right, now let's see. You want me to follow you in and say, that's my wife, and then your friend here shoots the picture.
Check. Okay, here we go.
Who are you? What do you want?
It's a raid, lady. Don't try and
Out
stop
the
us.
back way, everybody. It's a raid.
Why, it's a gambling den. Dorothy, don't run away. It's dead.
Dickie took a picture. Get the camera.
I think this is a divorce raid or something. Mr. Kirby, look out. He's got a gun. All right. Let the women go, but you stay here.
She put her husband up to this. Kirby put her husband up to it.
I didn't. I
say you did. Hold the gun on the men, Dick.
Keep away from my wife. Stand still, you.
Don't touch me. Don't touch me.
All right, fellas, come on. What's going on around here? What's going on here?
It's the cops.
Drop the gun, Moorhead. We know you.
Oh.
You should have known better, Moorhead. Maybe you'll learn in the can. I know what's going on here. Gambling, roulette, everything.
You can't prove a thing.
With these witnesses? Are you kidding, sister? I'm telling you, it's a laugh. We've been watching this joint for weeks. Suddenly there's a riot, and we walk in on the neatest sucker layout in town. Let's go, everybody.
I want a lawyer. You've got no warrant. You can't do this. You'll pay. You'll all pay.
Cut it out, sister. Your boyfriend pulled the gun. That's all I need. Now get going. There's a free ride waiting for you with a one-way ticket. Come on, sister. Move.
Crime does not pay. Susan Douglas, who starred as June Hathaway in Cards and Spades, will be back with you in just a moment. Now, here in person is Susan Douglas.
There's no doubt in my mind that June Hathaway knew exactly what she was doing. There is some doubt in my mind that she knew why she was doing it. June never examined the causes of her basic insecurity, the causes of the drive for money through any means, which brought her to cooperation with Dick Moorhead and eventual catastrophe. But it took more than June's schemes to bring about the events of this story. The necessary additional ingredient was the weakness of her victims. The craving for the excitement, the surrender to the temptation of the green table and the bright pasteboard. Without such help, without both sides of this story, there would have been no tears, no shame, no violence. For all concerned, for all those involved, including the victims, it can be said in all these cases, crime does not pay.
Thank you, Miss Douglas. Crime Does Not Pay is written by Ira Marion and directed by Marks B. Loeb, with music composed and conducted by John Gart. Technical consultant is Burton B. Turkis. The events, characters, and names used in the story you have just heard are fictitious. Any similarity is purely coincidental.
This I believe. The world is full of tangible things. The ground we walk on, the houses we live in, the hard-earned coin we exchange for food. Julian Bryan is a movie producer, or better said, an artist, who catches on celluloid the dimensional documentary stories of our global neighbors and ourselves, the customs of a nomadic tribe in Saudi Arabia, and the lives of the mountain folk of Tennessee. There are some things, though, that you can't photograph, however sensitive the film. It is of these vital intangibles that Julian Bryan speaks now.
As a little boy, I believed devoutly in a very personal God, who listened to my every word and took a very personal interest in all of my activities. I actually talked to him a great deal. He was a God of love, but he was also a God of fierce and rapid justice. I felt as though his eyes were on me all the time. I was raised a Protestant, and as I look back, I can see that somewhere along the line, I learned to be suspicious of and condescending to all other sects. Then at 17, during the First World War, I joined the ambulance service of the French Army and served for 6 months at Verdun. My friends were simple French soldiers. With one or two exceptions, they were all Roman Catholics. I went to Mass with them, carried them when wounded, saw them die. And I came to like them as people, to admire their courage, to respect their right to their faith, which was so different from my own. 20 years ago, I began to make films about people all over the world. I took them as I found them, not as I wanted them to be. Wherever I went, I soon discovered that when you break bread with people and share their troubles and joys, the barriers of language, of politics, and of religion soon vanish. I liked them, and they liked me. That was all that mattered. I came to find that the peoples of this world have much more in common with one another than they have differences. I have found this true wherever I have gone, even in Moscow and the far reaches of Siberia. The most hardened communist would eventually break down if you were kind to his children. This was true even though he knew that he might be arrested the next day for becoming friendly with a foreigner. As for the common man in Russia, my belief is that in spite of 34 years of Stalin and regimented thought control, he still loves his land and his church and his family. And he hates the cruelty of the secret police and the incredible stupidity of the Soviet bureaucrats. In fact, I believe that in a fundamental way he is very much like us. He wants to live his own life and be let alone. All over the world I have watched the great religions in practice. Buddhist monks at their devotions in Manchuria, Shinto priests in their temples in Japan, and only last autumn the brave and hardy Serbian Muslims at their worship in Tito's Yugoslavia. I have come to hold a deep respect for all of man's great religions, and I have come to believe that despite their differences, all men can worship side by side. For myself, I believe in people and in their given right to enjoy the freedoms we so cherish in America. I believe in justice and knowledge and decent human values. I believe in each man's right to a job and food and shelter. And I sincerely believe that one day all of these things will come to pass. My real faith, then, is a dream that in spite of daily headlines prophesying man's destruction, we can build a better world, a world of peace and human brotherhood. Yes, even in our lifetime, this is my faith and my dream. In my small way, I want to have a share in making it come about.
That was film producer Julian Bryan, whose observations, sharp as his camera's eye in London, Belgrade, Baghdad, and around the world, convince him that people, despite their differences, can learn to live together.
Calling all detectives. A man tries to borrow $50 on a $10 clock and offers his soul as security. That is the situation on this page from my casebook, the casebook of Jerry Browning, private detective. One of the lessons a private detective like me, Jerry Browning, learns after a while is that you can't tell what anybody will do until after he's done it. In my business, there's an awful lot of tedious work, as for instance, checking pawn shops for stolen property. What I was after that day was a 4-carat diamond ring, insured by Consolidated, and stolen under conditions that made me think it was the work of amateur housebreakers. An amateur without fence connections might try to pawn the valuable ring for a small amount, just to be rid of it. Jacob Faust's was maybe the 40th pawn shop I'd visited. Through its soiled windows, I could barely see a few moth-eaten fur coats, some second-hand clothing. There was one customer at the counter, and behind it a wizened little man, probably Mr. Faust himself. $50 you want to borrow on this clock. Worth 10 when it was new. The customer was a tall, thin man with sunken cheeks. I must have the money. I need it very badly. Then, my friend, you must have more security. What other security do you have? The customer's answer was low, but not too low for me to hear. I'll put up my soul. Faust eyed his customer. All right. It's a deal. He opened a drawer, and as I watched, gave a man a $50 loan on a $10 clock, plus his soul. A pawnbroker named Faust gave a customer a $50 loan on a $10 clock, plus the customer's soul as security. Faust turned to me after the customer left. What can I do for you, mister? I showed him my credentials. I'm looking for a 4-carat diamond ring, square cut, worth $12,000. Maybe pawned by some punk. Have you been offered anything like that in the past week? Faust smiled, shook his head. No. I make very small loans. $100 is the absolute most. Well, that was that and what I'd expected. But I'd overheard words I had to have explained. Mr. Faust, did you tell that man you'd accept his soul as security? Faust smiled faintly. Only an old man's whim, Mr. Browning. I don't believe it. When that man offered his soul, he meant it, and when you accepted, you meant it too. Faust sighed. Mr. Browning, some people are poor. Very, very poor. But you understand, they get hungry. They must pay rent, buy food. If you press them hard enough, they steal. A voice. So those I lend money. Their soul is the security because it is their most precious possession. While he owes me the money, a man must so behave that his soul is as good as new. Because what other security have I? I turned away to hide my embarrassment. On the case I was facing, there was a tray of cheap costume jewelry. Is that stuff for sale, Mr. Faust? No. These are pawns on small loans. $2, $5. What about this ring? It is one of my soul loans. $35. The stone is glass. You're wrong, Mr. Faust. That's the ring I'm looking for. I'm sorry, but you'll have to get your hat and coat and come with me. At police headquarters, Willard Canopy, the owner of the ring, came down and identified it as the one stolen from his house. Just to be sure, I had a diamond expert look at it, too. This is an unusually fine-cut stone of superb quality. Well, there are strict laws about pawnbrokers making reports to the police on valuables they take in. They don't have to report souls, but when they take in $12,000 rings...
Mr. Faust, I have no choice. You're under arrest. You can call a lawyer if you'd like.
I have no money to waste on lawyers. I'm a poor man. Today, I lost a soul.
Okay, so I'm a heel, but I'm also a detective. There wasn't anything I could do but take him in, but there was plenty I could do after that. I drove back to the pawn shop, climbed the rickety stairs of the tenement above the store.
Yeah, what do you want?
Take it easy, pal. I'm looking for some friends of Jacob Faust.
Everybody's Jake's friend. Why?
He's in jail. Somebody slipped some hot ice over on the old man. He's in a bad spot.
Hot ice? Well, that poor old guy wouldn't know a real stone if he saw it. Come on, we'll take care of this.
The street was packed with angry, muttering people.
You wanted to meet Jake's friends? This is them. Go ahead, talk to him.
Somebody pawned a ring with Mr. Faust this past week. A ring with a square-cut stone. That ring, plus his soul, was security for a $35 loan. I must find out who pawned that ring. A gray-faced man pushed his way out of the crowd. I tell you who pawned it. I did. I grabbed the man. That ring is worth a fortune. Where did you get it? The man looked at me and at his silent neighbors waiting for his answer. Then, I stole it. I let the crowd see my hand heavy on the gray-faced man's shoulder. This man is my prisoner. Nobody touches him. Nobody tried to touch him. I got my prisoner to my car. All right. What's your name? Tom Fresner. Okay. Mr. Fresner,
You put your soul up as security with Jake Faust. Now, there aren't many people who take souls as security, and when somebody like Faust does, I figure he must know his business. Mr. Frasner, you didn't steal that ring. Now, where did you get it?
My son. He said he found it. I needed money badly, so I brought the ring to Jake.
Where's your son now?
Please, he's just a boy, only 16.
Let's go get him. Who knows? Maybe he has a soul, too. Yep, we got the boy. He and 3 other kids had broken into the Canopy house. I told you it was an amateur job. So amateur that they took only that ring, and having taken it, didn't know what to do with it. The thing had no value to them. It was their first burglary, and their last, too. Faust was released, and the boys were put on probation. And when last I was in that section of town, the neighborhood kids had a supervised playground and club, thanks mainly to the efforts of Jake Faust.
Mr. Browning, if men and women are to have souls, we must take care that they do not become chipped or shot-worn when they are children.
And that's about all. Like I said, people do all sorts of peculiar things. Why, even I own 10 shares of stock in a neighborhood youth foundation. Just plain doing myself out of future business. Listen next time to Calling All Detectives. Mystery drama, mystery quiz, and a chance for you to match wits with yours truly, Jerry Browning, Private Detective.
Your card, Mr. Thompson.
The King of Hearts.
Colonel Moore.
The 5 of clubs, Mr. President.
Count Rizzini. Come, Count, we are waiting. What is your card?
Plus for the Spada.
I beg your pardon?
The Ace of Death.
Midnight, the witching hour, when the night is darkest, our fears the strongest, and our strength at its lowest ebb. Midnight, when the graves gape open and death strikes. How? You'll learn the answer in just a minute in The Ace of Death.
And now, Murder at Midnight, tales of mystery and terror by radio's masters of the macabre. Our story, based on Robert Louis Stevenson's immortal Suicide Club, is by Max Ehrlich. Its title, The Ace of Death.
I stood there on the bridge and stared down into the swirling fog. It hid the river like a white shroud. I shivered. It'd be cold down there, freezing cold. I would go down, down, deep into the black, watery depths, my ears bursting and my lungs fighting for breath. And then, finally, there would be silence. Silence. And eternal peace. Somewhere a clock began to chime 11. The last hour of a man's life. My life. I, John Evans, ill and broke without family or friends, sick and weary of the constant struggle among earthbound mortals, looked forward to my new future. Death. I put one foot over the bridge rail. My heart pounded. My head throbbed. And then someone came out of the mist and seized me from behind.
No, you fool. Don't do it now, Miss Spades.
Let me go. Let me go while I still got the
You
courage.
hear what I've got to say.
Why did you stop me? Why? I wanted to die. I wanted to.
I sympathize with you, young man. You see, I too am tired of life and seek death.
You? You want to die?
Yes, but not by drowning. No, my boy. I've made other arrangements. The river is not only a dull way to die, it's positively sordid. The very idea makes me shudder with distaste.
Wait, I don't understand.
It's very simple, young man. Well, most of us are too commonplace about the hereafter. We enter it with morbid fear and without imagination. Actually, death can be glorious.
Glorious?
Yes, a great new change from our ordinary lifetime routine. A journey into an uncharted world. A man should meet death on the wings of adventure. It should be an exciting and delightful experience.
Death? Exciting and delightful?
Why not? I've already arranged my decease along these lines. And since you and I have an interest in common, why not join me?
Huh?
We'll seek death's private door together. Come, young man. Come along with me.
Where?
To my club. I'll be glad to recommend you for membership.
Your club?
Yes. It caters to a clientele of gentlemen like ourselves. We call it the Hereafter Club.
The whole thing was mad, insane. And yet it was intriguing, too. I looked hard at the elderly gentleman who'd come out of the fog to pull me from the brink of death, only to offer me a pleasanter and more delightful variety later. He repeated his invitation to join him, and I could see that he was perfectly sincere. I decided to go with him, even though I secretly considered him some kind of a madman. After all, what could I lose now? We took a cab and stopped at a grim-looking building in the Silk Stocking district on the east side. My elderly friend, whom I now knew as Frederick Whitney, took me into a luxurious reception room and asked me to wait there until he saw the president of the club. Finally, the president himself came out to greet me. He was a man of about 50 with a bald spot on his head, piercing gray eyes, and a thin mouth. He smiled and extended his hand to me.
Welcome to the Hereafter Club, Mr. Evans.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Mr. Whitney has recommended you very highly, and I'm delighted to count you among our members.
I am pretty vague as to what all this is about, but Mr. Whitney mentioned something about a $400 initiation fee, and, well, I'm afraid
Tut, my boy, Mr. Whitney knew you were in delicate financial straits and took your initiation fee upon himself.
Oh.
You were fortunate indeed, Mr. Evans, that he happened along and rescued you from the river. Such a morbid way of entering the hereafter would have been tragic indeed.
Isn't death in any form tragic?
By no means, Mr. Evans. Death can be a triumph, a fine, heady wine, when so designed by a connoisseur. Come, Mr. Evans, follow me. You are about to embark on an exciting and unforgettable experience.
Like a man in a dream, I followed the president into a large room. There was a green baize table in the center of it, and several men in evening dress lounged around the room drinking champagne. They seemed nervous and distraught. And when they laughed, it was high-pitched and too loud. They seemed to be waiting for something to happen, some event to begin. As the president and I stood at the door, he turned to me and smiled.
These men, Mr. Evans, are charter members of the Hereafter Club. They come from all walks of life, but they have one common desire, death.
I see. And what happens now?
Our procedure is very simple. We all play a game of cards.
A game of cards?
A simple but fascinating game of cards. That is, these gentlemen play. As president of the Hereafter Club, I am the dealer.
And what is the game?
Each man draws a card and turns it face up. The man who is fortunate enough to draw the ace of spades dies. For this is the card of death.
And how does he die?
By the hand of the man who draws the ace of clubs.
Oh, I see. The ace of clubs eliminates the ace of spades.
Precisely.
How many of these games do you play a night?
Just one. But as you can see, Mr. Evans, during its course, a man can live a lifetime of adventure. Now, this makes of death an exciting game of chance, a game to whip the blood and make the pulses race. You see, one never knows whether he will draw the fatal ace of spades tonight, or whether he will survive for weeks or even months.
A question, Mr. President.
Yes?
How much of this can a man stand?
I can only answer in this way, Mr. Evans. Our members always come back to the Hereafter Club night after night until they draw the ace of spades. Once a devotee of the game, it's impossible to resist. Now, but come, we're ready to begin.
In a kind of hypnotic trance, I followed the president into the room. But when the members saw him, their conversation stopped suddenly. They put down their champagne glasses, straightened. Their faces grew pale and tense, their eyes brilliant with a mixture of fear and anticipation. The president took a fresh pack of cards from his pocket, and like a magnet attracting iron filings, the men drew close to the baize-covered table. I found myself standing next to Frederick Whitney as the president spoke.
Gentlemen of the Hereafter Club, the game is about to begin. Someone here tonight will draw the ace of spades. Whoever he is, let me assure him that we will arrange his death so that it will appear to be an accident with no breath of scandal and with no unnecessary anguish to his family. We all know that life is only a stage to play the fool upon, as long as the part amuses us. Now we are wearied of our daily performance and have chosen a civilized and exciting way to quit that stage. Gentlemen, ready?
It was a fantastic, weird, monstrous experience. The green baize table, the president puffing on his cigar and dealing a card to each man face down, each man his face like a graven image turning his card up. I could feel the sweat pouring down my forehead. My heart pounded like a hammer, and next to me, Frederick Whitney stood rigid, his eyes shining as the president's voice droned on.
Mr. Thompson, your card.
Here. The 3 of diamonds.
Colonel Moore.
6 of hearts.
Mr. Dennison.
It's the Jack of Spades.
Count Rizzini.
The 8 of clubs.
Mr. Evans, our new member.
The Queen of Hearts.
Mr. Whitney. Mr. Whitney, what is your card?
The ace of clubs.
Well, Mr. Whitney, congratulations. You shall be the official agent for tonight. Now let us see whom you will guide into the hereafter.
Frederick Whitney left the game and went directly into the president's private office. There was only one card to be drawn now, the ace of death. The tension was almost unbearable. I felt like running away from that table, screaming at the top of my voice, but I didn't. I only stood there, riveted, staring at those cards, listening to the president's hypnotic voice.
Mr. Benedict.
The J of spades.
Mr. Wallace.
9 of diamonds.
Mr. Thompson.
The King of Hearts.
Colonel Moore, your card.
The 5 of clubs.
Count Rizzini. Count Rizzini, we are waiting. What is your card?
Asso di spada.
I beg your pardon?
The ace of death.
I stumbled from that horrible place into the cold night air. I went directly to my room, shaken to the core at what I had seen. In the cold, gray light of the morning, it took on the aspect of a bad dream, a macabre nightmare. I resolved to shrug it off, forget the whole thing. But when I bought a newspaper, the headline struck me like the blow of a hammer. Quickly, my heart beating wildly, I read the lead paragraph. Count Pietro Rizzini, prominent Italian nobleman, was hit and instantly killed at midnight when he stepped off the curb into the path of a speeding taxicab. The Count, who had recently lost his fortune, was with a friend, Mr. Frederick Whitney, when the unfortunate accident occurred.
And so, in the darkness of the night, a man who has played a grim game and lost goes to his death as the clock strikes 12 for murder at midnight. And now here is John Evans again to continue his story.
Yes, the Hereafter Club was really a murder club. A racket conceived and created by the polished gentleman who called himself the president. He made a game of death and grew rich on it. For each night, although he lost a member, he made $400, the member's initiation fee. And as the members dropped out, according to Hoyle, there were always plenty of disillusioned neophytes like myself ready to replace them. My first impulse after reading that grisly newspaper announcement was to run to the police. But I had pledged my word to secrecy. And besides, I wanted to go back. I had to go back. The thrill of the game was in my blood. I fought to resist it, but it was like a hypnotic drug. Time after time, I went back to the green baize table, and then, one night...
Your card, Mr. Whitney? Come, sir, what is your card? The ace of spades.
Now, my friend, Frederick Whitney, the man who'd introduced me into the Hereafter Club, had drawn the ace of death. His string had run out. He was through. I stared at him. He was calm, and there was a half smile on his face. He seemed almost glad that for him the game was over. The president kept on dealing.
Mr. Thompson, your card?
The Jack of Hearts.
Colonel Moore?
The Four of Spades.
Mr. Dennison?
The Ace of Diamonds.
Mr. Benedict?
Ten of Clubs.
Mr. Evans?
They were waiting for me.
Come, Mr. Evans. Your card?
The Ace of Clubs.
Congratulations, Mr. Evans. Only your 6th evening at our club, and you draw a winning card. Now, if you'll join Mr. Whitney and myself in my private office, we'll arrange the details.
The instructions were simple. I was to drive Mr. Whitney into the garage of his home, leave him in the car with the motor running. That was all. And so without a word, I got behind the wheel and drove my elderly benefactor to the appointed place. We looked at each other there in the garage, and then he said,
John, if anyone had to draw the ace of clubs, I'm glad it was you.
No, Mr. Whitney, look here. I don't want to kill you. You know I don't. Let's end this farce. Let's go to the police and end this monstrous thing.
No, John. You forget I'm a murderer. I have already killed. I'd rather die the carbon monoxide gas in this comparatively painless way than in the electric chair.
But the police will never know that you were responsible for Rizzini's death.
If we expose the Hereafter Club, the president would be sure to tell them.
There must be a way, somehow.
No, my boy. I have chosen death. My time has come. In a way, I'm glad. Everything is resolved. There is no more waiting for the fatal card. It's over now. Go, my boy. Leave the garage. Slam the door.
No, Mr. Whitney. For God's sake, turn off the motor before...
Go, John, before it's too late. Hurry. Don't worry about me. I have sought death for weeks. Now I welcome it. Meet it gladly.
I staggered to the garage door, went out, and slammed it shut. I heard the motor still going. 5 minutes. 10 minutes. I knew that it was the end now for Frederick Whitney. I looked at my luminescent watch. It was just midnight. I walked the streets for hours after that. Now I was a murderer. True, I had killed with my victim's consent, but I had killed. Now, as the dawn came, I began to shake with a cold rage against the connoisseur of death who called himself the president. Men killed. Men died, and he profited without risk. He always dealt the game and never participated. He was a prince of ruin, and unfortunate men like myself could not resist what he had to offer. And so, like a smiling Satan in formal clothes, exerting a demoniac spell upon the fools who played his game, he watched them destroy each other. That night I went to the Hereafter Club, and just before the game confronted him.
Ah, good evening, Mr. Evans. I see you are back again tonight.
Yes, Mr. President, I'm back again. And I want to congratulate you.
Indeed? On what?
On your financial vision in starting this club. By simple mathematics, it nets you a handsome profit. We play 5 evenings a week, and each evening you make $400. That, Mr. President, adds up to $2,000 a week.
Yes, it's a tidy sum, Mr. Evans, to be sure. But to tell you the truth, tonight we play our last game.
Our last game?
Yes, to be frank with you, Mr. Evans, the sport of the game is beginning to pall on me. I've decided to retire to the country and pursue the delights of horticulture. Flowers are my hobby, you know.
Oh, I see. Even you can tire of sending men to their deaths.
And just what do you mean by that, Mr. Evans?
I mean that you are a coward, Mr. President. You have created a monstrous game, and yet you haven't the courage to play it yourself.
You question my courage, then, Mr. Evans?
I do, and I question your honor, too. It seems to me that if you profit by your clients, you should take the same risk they do.
You are a very impertinent young man, but I cannot let your accusations go without rebuttal. Indeed, it might be an interesting experience to play this last game myself. A kind of fitting climax to a successful career. Of course, Mr. Evans, I'll demand a handsome apology when it's over.
You don't mean that you are actually going to take a chance?
Yes, why not? I've often been intrigued by the excitement of my clients. Now, I might as well savor that excitement myself before I close the Hereafter Club.
The news that the president was going to play created a sensation among the members. He dealt a round, and then another, and the third time around, for the second night in a row, I drew the murder card, the ace of clubs. The president smiled his congratulations at what he called my phenomenal luck, and continued.
Mr. Thompson, your card?
The 2 spades.
Colonel Moore?
The king of hearts.
Mr. Dennison?
The 7 of clubs.
Mr. Benedict?
Queen of diamonds.
And now, gentlemen, I'll turn over my own card.
Congratulations, Mr. President. You have drawn the ace of spades. The president's face was immobile. Not an eyelash flickered. We went into his private office, and his words were calm as he explained the evening's arrangements. I had drawn the murder card, and he had drawn the death card. Yet, judging by his unworried attitude and serene bearing, it might have been the other way around. I couldn't help a flicker of admiration for him. As for me, I was eager to do my part, to kill this man who had been caught at the last moment in his own net. He had sent many a man to his death, and now he had to meet it himself.
There is a railroad bridge on the outskirts of town, Mr. Evans. It has a low railing, and below it an express train passes, exactly at midnight. You will push me over that rail into the path of the locomotive. And now, if you're ready, let us go.
We didn't speak on the trip out to the bridge. It was a cold night. We stood there, shivering and waiting. Finally, in the distance, that was it. The midnight train. I could see its bright headlight flickering as it approached. Then the president spoke.
Mr. Evans, of course we are not going through with this.
Of course we are, Mr. President.
Look here, my dear boy.
As you know, the Hereafter Club is disbanded. Unlike my clients, I have no desire to die. There's no point in doing so.
Well, you are going to die, Mr. President, just as you have sent others. I'll see to it myself.
Be reasonable, Mr. Evans. I have everything to live for, and so can you have. Now then, I'm a very wealthy man, and I'm quite sure you could use, say, $10,000.
Get close to that rail, Mr. President.
I suggest you listen to reason, Mr. Evans.
The others died without a whimper. You sent them into the hereafter, and now you're going yourself as you deserve.
You're a very stubborn young man, Mr. Evans.
No, drop that gun. Don't.
Try to kill me, will you?
Well, you got me in the arm, that's all. And now you're going over that trail. Don't. I'll give you anything over you.
When the train had passed, I saw what was left of his body on the tracks. Slowly, with dragging footsteps, I walked down the street toward the twin green lights of the police station. Now, like the others, I'm ready for the end.
The doors of the police station open and close on the man who trumped the ace of death. The man who now seeks his own dark destiny as the clocks strike 12 for murder at midnight. Remember to be with us again when death deals his final hand and the clocks strike 12 for murder at midnight. The part of John Evans was played by Carl Swenson. The president of the Hereafter Club was John Griggs. With music by Burt Berman, Murder at Midnight was directed by Anton M. Leader.
This I believe. Julio Garzon is editor of New York's La Prensa, a Spanish-language newspaper read by people from 25 Pan-American nations. His career in journalism has included posts on newspapers in his native Colombia, in Argentina, Cuba, and Puerto Rico, as well as in this country, to which he came in 1920. He has won an impressive number of awards for his outstanding public service as a reporter and editor. This is Julio Garzon's creed.
On July the 6th, 1910, I witnessed the passing of the Halley comet from the patio of our house in Bogota, Colombia. This was one of the great experiences of my life, though I was only 4 years old. The description given by my father, a celestial body, and the spectacle of the luminous train following the nucleus filled me with awe. Here I was seeing something sublime, something heavenly, the meaning of which was beyond my means of comprehension, but nevertheless brought the presence of God closer to my young heart. Mine was not destined to be a placid life. Not many years after that day, my father was to find it necessary to go into exile with his family for political reasons. We were 3 children, 2 boys and a girl. I saw my little sister die of malaria in a village on the Atlantic coast of Panama. Her death from this deadly parasite came so swiftly as to leave us all stunned. Again, tragedy from this dread disease hit us, taken from us my father a few years later. Thus, I was only a very young boy when circumstances made it imperative that I share with my brother the responsibilities of supporting ourselves and our mother. The First World War brought me in contact with the tragedy of human ambitions and passions through the sight of mutilated Allied veterans and enemy war prisoners. The armistice found us in Havana, Cuba, to which city we had immigrated. From there we moved on to the United States, the country to which I owe so much, for it gave my family and me every opportunity in life. I have had my share of jolts, both material and spiritual. Through it all, however, I have managed to maintain intact my faith in the justice of God and in the truth of love. In my darkest moments, I have always managed to gain great comfort in recalling the biblical passage of the boat ride by Jesus on the lake of Gennesaret in Galilee, when the boat found itself in the midst of the violence of a squall, and the master was sleeping quietly, unaware of the danger which the fishermen sailing the boat were observing with great fear. In their sudden terror, they hurried aft to where Jesus was sleeping and awakened him with their cries of, "Master, Master, do you not care if we drown?" Jesus arose quickly and conjured the elements to be calm, whereupon he turned to the fishermen and asked them, "Why were you afraid? How is it that after all this time you have no faith?" That brief moment on July the 6th, 1910, when I saw the Halley Comet, I was left with a faith in a divine power that has grown stronger with every new turn of adversity. I have found ample compensation for my enduring faith in the affection and respect of my friends, the modest distinctions I have received through my professional work, and in the love of my wife and children. Man's belief in a supernatural power is challenged today as never before by the pushers of the materialistic revolution of the times. In the midst of the mental and spiritual conflicts brought about by the material incentives and easy moral standards offered by ungodly doctrines, many are the souls that have lost their way. Their boat is rocking, and only faith can steer them out of the storm.
Those the beliefs of Julio Garzon, a noted Latin American journalist who lives with his wife and 2 daughters in Elmhurst, Long Island.
What's the matter? What is it? It's a case for Nick Carter, master detective.
Yes, it's the case of the make-believe robbery. Another case for that most famous of all manhunters. The detective whose ability at solving crime is unequaled in the history of detective fiction. Nick Carter, Master Detective.
So, Assistant Director, but how about putting me in this picture, too? Why should I pay you $10, says he? You ain't no cop. Oh, ain't I says to him. I'm Waldo McGlynn, that's who I am. I don't wear no uniform, but I'm the best doggone detective in this town. But when he hears that, he says, okay, give the other cops a hand holding back the crowd there. Well, why don't you give me...
Quiet, everybody, quiet. Let me have your attention, please. We're ready to start shooting. Each one of you policemen knows the job you're to do. Okay, now here's the layout. The bandit car drives up. The 2 crooks get out of the car, walk into Reingold's jewelry store, and go straight through the store to the offices in the back. The camera will follow them as they go. Without taking any sound now, that'll be done in later. Then, as the crooks come out of the store again, they'll get in the car and drive up the street. The sound truck and camera will follow them for some other shots later. Is that clear?
You know what he means? Yeah, I know.
All right, stand by. Everybody in the scene, act natural, please, and don't look at the camera. Here comes the bandit car. On your toes now. All right, you 2 crooks, look around.
Now walk into the store. Don't hurry. Now, straight down the main aisle to the rear. That's it. Now go into the office. You know what to do there.
All right, now stand back. Don't shove. Take it easy, will you? Gee, McGlynn, this is exciting being part of a real moving picture.
Oh, I don't know. It's all right if you ain't never done it before.
Have you ever been in a picture before?
Have I been in a picture?
That's what I said. Have you?
You know, this ain't a bad way to make $10. Just standing around watching some other guys work.
I bet you've never been in a picture.
Hey, those were pistol shots. Come on.
Hold it, you dope. Those were part of the moving picture, remember?
Yeah. I just wanted to find out what you'd do.
Who are you, kid?
Look, when I was out in Hollywood, I used to be the top...
the two pilots are coming back now. All right, you two, now just take it easy. Nobody's going to stop you. That's it. Now get into your car and drive off down the street. We'll follow you for the other seats. Now get going. We'll be right behind you. You policemen hold back the crowd until we get well down the street, and then you can let them go. You'll get your checks at headquarters tonight. Thanks, and so on.
Well, that's that. Yeah, I sure wish I could make $10. Hey, what is it, lady?
The cashier's been murdered. They shot him down. It's cold blood.
Take it easy, lady. He ain't dead. This was
He
just
ain't dead, I tell you. Shot through the head. He's really dead.
Mr. Carter, you gotta do something. I'm worried.
That's why I'm here, Mr. Reingold. Mary, I'm amazed that at least one of your cops wasn't bright enough to have seen through this phony moving picture business.
Oh, don't rub it in, Nick, please.
Was headquarters ever approached at all?
Never. The individual cops were the only ones they contacted.
$1 million worth of beautiful stones they took right out of the main safe and killed my cashier.
Well, don't you carry insurance on your jewels, Mr. Reingold?
Sure, I carry insurance, but I lose all my stock stones.
Well, did you know about this moving picture business in advance?
Sure I did. About 11 o'clock this morning, a guy who said he was Fred Harlan, a director for Colossal Pictures, come in and asked me, could they use my store for making a movie? Said they wanted a one-story building like mine, not too big, but important. I said, would the sign over the store showing the picture? And he said yes. So I told him okay.
Did this man who said he was Harlan have any credentials?
Oh, sure. Sure, his papers was good. Colossal Pictures, it said.
Who was here with you at the time?
There was me, my nephew, Lester Green, and my cashier.
What did this Harlan look like?
Well, a little bigger than me. Blonde hair, good-looking, about 45 maybe. He was wearing sunglasses, the Hollywood kind.
Mm-hmm. You keep the safe open or closed during the day?
Always. It's closed. So much jewels it contains. When we want something, we unlock it. Take out what we want, and then quick, close it and lock it again.
Who had the combination?
Me, my nephew Lester, and my cashier, nobody else.
Keep the burglar alarm on or off during the day?
Always, it's on. We have a button to turn it off when we want to get in. See right here. Look, the alarm is still on. Why didn't it go off when the safe was open?
If the alarm wasn't turned off, we can be sure the cashier didn't open the safe on. Let's see. Here's why the alarm didn't work.
What you got, Nick?
The alarm wire's been cut. He's taken out of it to make sure it will stay cut.
Hey, Nick, since the safe wasn't forced open and the cashier didn't open it, that means the crooks had the combination.
Mr. Reingold, you say only the three of you knew the combination?
Yeah, that's right.
And one of you three helped in this robbery. And the cashier's dead, which lets him out, I should say.
Well, then you think me or Lester we should rob ourselves?
It's been done before.
Oh, come in.
I got here as quick as I could, Mr. Reingold.
Who are you?
Well, I'm Mickey Armbruster, the store detective.
What were you doing while they pulled off this fast job?
Well, I'm off on Monday, Sergeant. I worked Sundays as watchman, and Lester takes over for me on Mondays. Mr. Reingold called me, so I came right down to see if there was anything I could do.
I don't think so, thanks.
By the way, where is Lester?
Since the robbery, I ain't seen him to no good.
Well, let me know when he comes back, will you? I'd like to talk to him.
Oh, sure. Right away, I'll tell you.
Walter, was the sound truck a Colossal truck?
Well, no, Nick. I noticed it came from the Kramer Sound Equipment Company. Why?
That's strange. You'd think that if Colossal was doing the job, they'd furnish their own truck.
Colossal had nothing to do with it, Nick. We checked. That part was as phony as the rest of it.
Maybe there ain't no Fred Harlan either, Nick.
That's the odd thing about this, Walter. There is a Fred Harlan.
Huh?
Well, there was, years ago. He used to be top director in the Colossal lot.
Maybe this wasn't that Harlan, Nick.
That thought occurred to me, too, Matty. Well, we've done all we can here. You said there were no fingerprints?
My men couldn't find one anywhere. Oh, it was a slick job.
And let's go. See you later, Mr. Reingold.
Yes, sure.
Matty, I suggest you have some of your men check up on this Reingold, this nephew of his, Lester Green.
Yeah.
Also, check the Kramer sound equipment people and see if they can help us. Waldo and I are going to drop in on Scubby and see what he can dig up for us and Fred Harlan.
Right, Nick. Be seeing you.
Now, Mr. Kramer ain't here now.
When'll he be back?
I don't know.
Look, have you seen a fellow with blonde, wavy hair around here in the last couple of days?
Blonde, wavy hair?
Yeah.
Wish my hair was wavy. I tried my sister's hair crown stuff, but it didn't do no good.
Did you see that guy around?
Maybe I should have wore a hairnet like she does.
Look, dimwit, can you answer me a plain, simple question?
Sure, well, go ahead. Ask me a question.
Ask me a Look, has a guy with blonde, wavy hair been around here lately?
The fellow directed the movie this noon had wavy hair.
That's the one I mean. Have you seen him?
Yeah, he was directing the crooks. And they shot off guns, and a woman came rushing out and yelled, "Murder!" But she didn't fool me. I'm too smart.
Yeah, I'll see you.
She said somebody had been killed, but I knew better.
A man was killed. That's why I'm...
Fooled you, huh? Well, maybe you've never been to the movies. They shoot a guy, and blood runs all down his face till he falls down. That's only ketchup. I read about it in a book.
Why, you dumb half-witted dope. You ought to be...
What are you doing here, Lonnie?
Oh, I was just hanging around.
Well, why don't you go home? I told you not to hang around the office.
Hey, you Ted Kramer?
Yes, here I am. What can I do for you?
I'm Matheson, homicide.
Oh.
You seen a man with blonde, wavy hair around here recently?
Oh, you must mean Fred Harlan, the movie director.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, sure. He was in here yesterday. Hired my sound truck.
He tell you anything about himself?
Well, he said he was an old-time director and showed me his credentials. Said he was doing a job for Colossal, but they weren't furnishing the truck because the job was too small. He had to furnish the cameraman, too.
Know who he was?
Yeah, he's a friend of mine. I recommended him, and Harlan hired him. Darn good man, too. Does a lot of picture work.
What does this Harlan look like?
Oh, about 5'10", good-looking. Man of about 45, I'd say. Wore big Hollywood sunglasses.
But it was raining yesterday.
Yeah, I know. But you know these Hollywood nuts.
All right. Did he tell you anything about the job he was going to do?
Yeah, he did. He was all excited about it. Said he was just shooting a few scenes, but it would give him a chance to show that he was still a good director.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to make a comeback, he said.
Your truck's not back yet, huh?
No. He said he'd probably keep it all day.
Well, okay. Thanks. See you later. Well, here you are, Nick. This is everything I can find in the files about Fred Harlan.
Thanks, Scubby.
Hey, look at the bunch of stuff he's got there. That Harlan must have been quite a guy.
Well, he sure was. Here, Waldo, you take these clippings.
Okay.
Scubby, you take these.
Yep.
I'll go through these others.
Okay.
Oh, here's a picture of the guy, Nick.
Oh, let me see. That's the guy, Nick. That's the lad who directed the movie this morning. Sure as you're a foot high.
Yes? The date of this? Taken 15 years ago.
No change in his looks in 15 years? I wish I could do that.
Nobody can do that, Scubby. That's what interests me.
Yeah, Nick, he had his horoscope told, too.
Oh, anything for publicity, Walter.
Yeah, I see. And here's an article about him and his fingerprints. He didn't miss a trick.
Let me have that, Waldo.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, here are the last ones, Nick. Reports of his accident and the follow-up stories.
Accident, huh?
Serious? Almost fatal. Doctor said he suddenly cracked up while he was driving. Went over an embankment and was badly broken up.
Let me see those, will you?
Oh, sure. Here you are.
Thanks. Ribs broken, arm broken 2 places, leg cracked, bad cuts on head, long jagged cut under right ear. Cut under right ear. Yes. I seem to remember seeing a scar like that very recently.
You mean Harlan still has it, Nick?
I've never seen Harlan, Scotty. I've seen that scar somewhere today.
Where, Nick?
I'm not sure. Spent months in the California Medical Hospital under the care of Dr. Edward Wilson. That all, Scotty?
Yeah, that's all. He dropped out of sight after that.
All right, thanks. That helps a lot. Now I'll call the office and see what's happened there. Then we'll look up Harlan himself if we can find his address. And if there is such a person...
Sergeant, anything new?
Not much, Patsy. The boys are...
Oh, one moment, Sergeant. Nick Carter's office, Patsy Bowen speaking.
Patsy, Nick. Have you heard anything from Matty yet?
Oh, he's right here. You want to talk to him?
Yes, put him on.
Nick wants to talk to you, Sergeant.
Oh, thanks, Patsy. Hello, Nick.
Mary, anything new?
The boys just found the sedan the crooks used about 6 miles out of town near the river. The sound truck is in the river. They're hauling it out as soon as the crane gets there.
Any reports on Rheingold or Lester Green yet?
Yeah, we've been working fast. Nothing much on Rheingold except that he had his stuff completely insured, so he won't lose a nickel. But this nephew of his, this Lester, seems to have been quite a lad in days past.
That's so.
Yeah. Has a long record with the Hollywood police. Oh, nothing serious, just some studio brawls and several arrests for reckless driving. Lost his job at the studio because he was so wild.
You mean he worked in the studio?
Yeah, he was a bit actor for a while.
Then he'd know the movie technique, wouldn't he?
What? My golly, Nick. He sure would.
Has he turned up yet?
No, he hasn't. But we got the boys watching for him.
Good. Going out and have a look at the truck when they get it out of the river?
I'm on my way there now, yeah.
Now take Patsy with you, will you?
Why, sure. What do you want her to do?
Put her on, I'll tell her.
Okay. Here, Patsy, Nick wants you.
Thanks. Yes, Nick?
Patsy, listen. I want you to go with Matty. Get the license number of the crook's car so we can trace it.
Uh-huh.
Get copies of any fingerprints Matty finds and any other dope you can get. Bring them back to the office.
All right, Nick.
Call Dr. Wilson at...
Carter here. I want to see Carter.
Hold it, Nick. I'm sorry, but Mr. Carter's not in just now. Who are you, Katie?
I'm Lester Green. Lester Green. Just the boy I want to see. Who are you? Sergeant Matheson, Homicide Bureau.
Oh, so you're the guy. What the devil do you mean by telegraphing Hollywood, checking up on me?
We wanted to find out what kind of a guy you are. And we did.
Oh, so I get into a couple of jams out there. What's up to you?
Plenty. Right now?
Well, I was just a kid when I was in Hollywood 6 years ago. I'm different now.
Says you. You got into jams out there. Now you're in a jam here.
Who says I'm in a jam?
I do.
You want a poke in the nose?
Just one little poke, mister, and you'll find yourself behind bars.
Okay, Nick, I'll take care of it. Bye.
Now then, what do you know about the robbery of your uncle's store?
The store?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
When?
Oh, I suppose you don't know nothing about it.
Well, no, I don't. Huh?
Well, then you won't mind answering a few questions for me, will you?
Gosh, no.
Well, that's better. Now, I got to go out to have a look at that truck, so suppose you come along with me. On the way, you can tell me everything you've done since you got up this morning.
Nick, we must be way out in the sticks by now. Are you sure we're going right?
That's what the cop said. Straight ahead to the next gas station and turn right.
Maybe this address we're going to is a phony, Nick. Just because Harlan gave it to the man he rented the sedan from, don't prove he really lives there.
It doesn't prove he doesn't either.
Oh, look, there's a gas station over ahead, Nick. One of them little one-pump places.
Good. That must be it.
I hope he's got something to eat there. I'm starved.
How many you want, please?
Fill it up. Should take about 5 gallons.
Okay.
By the way, do you happen to know if a man by the name of Fred Harlan lives around here?
Harlan, sure thing. Lives about half a mile up this road. Seen him lots of times. Good-looking fellow.
Blonde, wavy hair, about my height. Wears big sunglasses.
Yup, that's the fellow.
Does he always wear those sunglasses?
Oh, sure, all the time. Oh, once he took them off to wipe them. I seen he had a bad cast in his left eye. Guess he don't want nobody to see his bum eye.
Anybody live up there with him?
Oh, never see anybody. Always alone when he coming here. You want anything else?
Well, you better look at the oil.
Okay.
About his business?
Oh, yeah, he was here a couple of days ago. Told me he was movie director. Said he was going to have chance to make a picture and gone back again.
It's the same guy, all right, Nick. And it is Harlan.
Maybe. Have you seen him in the last few hours?
No. He went out of here this morning early. I ain't seen him since. Why, his dog is still there, though. I hear him barking a while back. The mean creature, that dog. Harlan told me once I'd better keep away from his place if I didn't want to get that up.
I see. Well, how much owe you?
Well, 6 gallons gas is $1.20. Your oil's all right.
Here you are.
You got anything to eat here?
Got some hot dogs and some candy bars.
Hot dogs. Them's for me. Give me 2.
You want mustard or coleslaw on them?
Put them both on. I ain't fussy. And a pickle, too.
Give me 2 hot dogs. No mustard or anything. Not even a roll. Just the plain Franks.
2? Without no rolls? No nothing? You explain?
That's right.
It seems to me you've been crazy, but it's your business.
I thought you never ate them things, Nick.
I don't. I'm buying them for a friend. I hope he likes them.
Hey, Nick, it's almost dark here under these trees.
Yeah. It isn't a very attractive place Harlan lives in. That must be the dog you told us about.
Yeah, the dog. I hope he don't decide to take a bite out of my leg.
Well, if my plan goes right, Walter, this dog won't take a bite out of either of us. Now, let's see if Harlan is home. There's no one here but the dog. Well, let's see if we can get this door open. There. This is easy.
Now what?
Well, I open the door just a crack like this. And give Mr. Fred Harlan's dog the bikinis I bought for him. Nice doggy. Bet you're hungry. Here, see how these taste.
You think you're going to be his pal for life because you bring him a little hot dog? You're crazy, Nick.
Perhaps, and perhaps not. You're feeling tired, doggy? Well, lie down, take a little nap. That's the way. Now close your eyes.
Hey, what are you doing, Nick? Hypnotizing him?
And now we can open the door all the way and walk in.
Well, holy mackerel. That hound is dead to the world. What did you do to him, Nick?
Just fed him the 2 hot dogs he bought at the gas station, that's all.
You mean them 2 weenies did that to him?
Those 2 weenies, Waldo, had a couple of knockout drops in them.
Well, that'll be a monkey's
Now, let's see what we can find here. Now, this room hasn't been used recently. Try the next one.
No, this one ain't either. The dust is thicker than the rug.
That's just the kitchen. Yeah. You used this room, all right. What a mess.
If you start hunting for clues in this place, you got yourself an all-night job.
And I can't spend that much time on it. Well, let's have a look upstairs.
Yeah. You know, the guy at the gas station said he never spent much time here. Well, maybe he just lived in one room in the kitchen.
I think you're right, Waldo. Yes. And this is undoubtedly the room he used when he was here.
Nick, do you suppose the crooks talked Harlan into a deal and then bumped him off when they were through with him?
Waldo, the fact that the man who ran this show looked like the Harlan of 15 years ago leads me to believe that there's been an impersonation.
Yeah? But who impersonated who?
That's what I'm trying to find out. Now, first, let's pick out some good fingerprints. Should be plenty of them on this dressing table. Here. And here. Lift them off for the files.
You mean they showed me the other night, huh?
Yes, use the clear Scotch tape.
Okay, Nick. Hey, did you notice all the makeup he's got here?
Yes, and there's several pictures here that look like those taken 15 years ago. You notice?
Yeah.
Looks as if they've been used as models for making up. And here, what's this? Hair. Blonde, wavy hair.
Hey, that's what we're looking for, ain't it?
Yes. Uh-huh. Now we're getting somewhere. Waldo, these hairs didn't come out of a head. They came off a wig.
Off in a wig? How do you know?
Have no roots on them. Ended up in a wig, huh? Now I know that was an impersonation.
Oh, Nick. Happen to see this here in the wastebasket.
What is it?
It's a piece of wrapping paper from Rheingold's jewelry store. What? Do you see what it says on it here? To be called for.
Yes. And look at the name of the one who was to do the calling.
Yeah. Well, what's the connection between him and Harlan, Nick?
A very strong one, I believe.
You got any ideas?
I have. Right now, we're going back to the office to gather up what loose ends we can. And you're going to bring Harlan's dog along with you.
Bring the dog? Are you crazy, Nick?
Maybe I am. I'll bring him along just the same.
And when they hauled the truck up out of the river, they found this megaphone in it. And it has fingerprints on it.
You mean the water didn't wash them off?
Water doesn't hurt prints, Waldo. Patsy, did you get a picture of them?
Sergeant Matheson gave me one. Here.
Now, where did I put that news picture? Ah, yes, here it is. Now, let's see. The prints on the megaphone match the picture of Harlan's prints exactly.
Then, by golly, Nick, it was the original Harlan who did the job.
Is that good or bad, Nick?
Anything that helps solve the case is good, Patsy. And if Harlan himself did it, it's certainly one step nearer the end.
Nick Carter's office, Patsy Bowen speaking. Oh, yes, just a moment, please. I put Mr. Carter on. And Nick, it's Dr. Wilson of the California Hospital. He's the one who treated Harlan after his accident.
Oh, yes. Hello, Dr. Wilson. Yes. Uh-huh. I see. Wouldn't have recognized him, huh? Yes, of course. Well, Doctor, do you know where he went after he left the hospital? Oh, he did? I see. Well, thanks very much, Doctor, for taking the time to call me like this. I really appreciate it. Goodbye.
Well, Nick?
Just as we suspected. When Harlan left the hospital, it would have been difficult for even his old friends to have recognized him. He was badly cut about the head and had lost over 50 pounds. Dr. Wilson said he was in pretty bad shape. And he came back here to live.
Nick, I'm getting all balled up here. If Harlan actually is Harlan, he couldn't look the way he did 15 years ago before the accident, but if he does look the way he did then, it can't really be Harlan, which it is.
Oh, boy, you are tangled up, aren't you?
Patsy, call Matty and tell him to meet us at Randgold's store. Waldo, how's the dog?
You're still sleeping, Glory be. He's a mean son of a gun, that one.
Okay, put him under your arm and let's go.
Put him under your arm and let's go. It's all I can do to lift the brute off the floor.
No, don't gripe, Waldo. Just be glad it isn't a Great Dane.
A great... Oh, nuts. Come on, you.
Hi, Matty. Hello, Nick. Ah, so you brought Lester, too, huh? Excellent.
Yep, I thought we might as well all be here for the fireworks.
So, Mr. Carter, you got news first, yes?
I have, Mr. Rangold. I have news, the solution of the case, and the name of the murderer.
You hear that, Mickey? That's the kind of a detective you should be. The way you should catch more people stealing in my store, maybe.
Well, how'd you do it, Mr. Carter? I don't mind learning something when I can.
I studied the facts and found out more facts. I discovered that this robbery today was the result of years, probably, of careful planning, of leading a double life. The killer being himself half the time and somebody else the rest. I learned that a man was so badly broken down through a nervous collapse in an automobile wreck that his own friends wouldn't have known him. And he traded on that fact, got himself a job of trust and confidence. In fact, he became an employee of a jewelry store. He was a store detective.
Well, what do you know about Carter? Are you insinuating that?
I'm insinuating nothing. I'm giving facts. You got yourself this job here, watched and schemed and planned, and when you were ready, pulled this phony movie setup and robbed the safe.
That's hard to believe, Nick. Have you got proof?
Waldo, let the dog in.
Okay, Nick. I'm glad I am to do it.
Hey, what's all this, Nick? Why the dog out?
That dog belongs to Harlan. He also belongs to Mickey, as you can see by the way he greets him. For a while, I thought somebody impersonating Harlan had done this robbery, but I finally realized that the man who impersonated Harlan was Harlan himself, now known as Mickey Armbruster.
Well, man, mixed up. You got more proofs than a dog, Mr. Carter?
I have. When Matty takes Mickey's fingerprints, you'll find that they match these prints of Harlan's I found in a newspaper. And they'll match the prints found on the megaphone the phony movie director used. And you'll find Mickey knew the combination of the safe also. It took time to get it, but he was in no hurry. When he was here in the store Sunday watching, he cut the burglar alarm wires as a safety precaution. And he wore the dark glasses while he was playing Harlan to conceal the cast in his eye, which, as Mickey, is so plainly evident. Well, Mickey, am I right?
Yes, Carter, you're right. Thought my plan was foolproof. That by impersonating myself as I looked 15 years ago, I'd throw you all off the track.
My jewels, Mickey, you bum, they're my jewels.
Well, you'll never see them. My pals will take care of me when the time comes. Who'll work with you, Mickey? You don't really expect me to tell you that, do you? They're friends of mine. I'm going to need friends before this is over.
You don't have to tell us who they are, Mickey. We'll find them without your help. As a movie director, you should know better than to take moving pictures of your pals and then not destroy the film. That's the best evidence in the world.
The camera was on the sound truck when we drove it into the river.
It was, but it just happens that the camera was watertight and the film is still good. It's being developed right now. And when we get a look at it, we'll be able to pick up your pals and recover all of Rheingold's jewelry. The movie you were making may have been a phony, but the film you took was real. And your conviction is going to be real, too. You can depend on that.
Well, Nick, before you give us a peek into your story for next week, I want to talk for a moment to the young men of America. You know, it is no longer true, if it ever was, that men join the Army only if they can't get jobs anywhere else, or if they're not fitted for some other job, or if they're too lazy to look for one. The new American Army of today is a compact, carefully chosen group of skilled technicians with brains and ability. Young men seeking to enter the Army today must be able to understand and profit by technical training that is second to none. The skills that the men in the new American Army acquire, no matter what branch of the service they may be in, equals and often exceeds that demanded by many of the best-paid civilian trades. You can do no better for yourself and your country than to join the new American Army and become an informed technician in at least one of the many specialized fields offered.
Excellent advice, Ken.
Well, Lake, what about your story next week?
Well, next week, Ken, I'm going to tell you about an adventure I had recently when an explosion of unknown origin burned down a warehouse.
An alarm clock missing from an ex-soldier's trailer proved that the fire was incendiary.
And a bit of green paint on a crowbar led us directly to the firebug himself.
Who wasn't a firebug at all, but a crook who wanted to get rid of some very incriminating evidence.
What do you call this story, Nick?
I call it The Case of the Missing Alarm Clock.
Master Detective, which is produced and directed by Jock McGregor, is copyrighted by Street and Smith Publications, Incorporated. Pictured stories of Nick Carter appear in every issue of the Shadow Comics. In the broadcast of Nick Carter, Master Detective, Ron Clark is starred as Nick, Charlotte Manson is featured as Patsy. Matty is played by Ed Latimer, Waldo by Humphrey Davis, and Stubby by John Kane. Original music is played by George Wright. Script is by Jock McGregor and Peggy Mayer. Any resemblance in these programs to actual persons, living or dead, or to actual places is purely coincidental. Nick Carter, Master Detective, is presented over most of these mutual stations each week at the same time. This is Ken Powell saying so long until next week. The program was heard in Canada through the facilities of the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation. This is the Mutual Broadcasting System.
This I believe. Justin Wise Polaire is judge of the New York Children's Court. While still in college, she began her work on behalf of the underprivileged. The years which have followed have piled achievement upon achievement and add up to a record of tireless devotion to children and to human beings in general. This is Judge Polaire's creed.
Who never sold the truth to serve the hour, nor faltered with eternal God for power. In these words of the poet I find a faith in the struggle by man to serve the truth as he sees it, and to serve God without fear and regardless of personal consequence. This is the essence of religion to me, and the ideal for free men, men free to seek the highest as they know it, and to serve their fellow men without fear. Freedom means many things to many people. From my earliest childhood, I saw it through the eyes of my parents as both opportunity and challenge to do battle for those in bondage, to achieve freedom of the spirit and mind for oneself and one's fellow men. Blessed by parents whose deepest joy was through service to their fellow men, who were deeply moral without ever being self-righteous, who were profoundly religious and therefore not sanctimonious, I learned that love of mankind became meaningful only as it reflected understanding of and love of human beings. As an American Jew, I have found that the great spiritual and moral traditions given to the world by the Hebrew prophets have strengthened me in my quest for personal dignity, and therefore in the struggle for the dignity of man and the freedom of mankind. The beauty and great traditions of my people as of my home have been sources of strength and inspiration in confronting the difficult problems faced by our generation in these troubled times. As a mother and as a judge in the children's court, I have long realized that no one senses more quickly than a child the difference between what a parent says and what he does, or the difference between the principles and practices of a community. In my work I see children who are brought before me when a gang war develops between children of different religions, races, or national origin. They are the children who have grown up in communities that have tolerated discrimination, ghettos, and the teaching of fear, suspicion, and hatred. I believe that brotherhood means brotherhood and not condescending good works. Children are brought before me also for stealing, for associating with hold-up gangs. These are the same children who have been hearing about and seeing public officials who do not engage in petty stealing, but in major graft. I could not convince these children that I deeply believe in honesty if I ignored or were indifferent to widespread corruption in the community. Nor could I expect integrity or devotion to freedom from these children unless my actions truly reflected my beliefs. This, to me, is the meaning of life and religion. I can remember as a child meeting that great human being, Thomas Masaryk, in my parents' home shortly after he had given up everything, including his livelihood as a professor, to defend an impoverished Jewish boy wrongly accused of ritual murder in Eastern Europe. Years later, he became the President of the Republic of Czechoslovakia and one of the most honored men throughout the world. When Czechoslovakia was enslaved by communist dictators, his son Jean, who like his father deeply believed in human freedom, wrote, "No man shall dictate to me what books I shall read or what music I shall hear or what friends I shall choose." He had to die because he believed these words when freedom was destroyed in Czechoslovakia. But he, like his father, was true to his beliefs. I believe that religion, one's beliefs, and life are inseparable, and that they can be meaningful only when this is so.
That was Judge Justin Wise Polier, who is married to a New York attorney and is the mother of 3 children. She heads the Women's Division of the American Jewish Congress.
NBC presents transcribed Frank Lovejoy in Night Beat.
Hi, this is Randy Stone. I cover the Night Beat for the Chicago Star. My day begins when yours ends. When we trade in the sun for the yellow incandescence and the ruby neons. And when a different kind of people come out and prowl the night to make a buck or get their kicks. Yeah, a different kind of people, because the nighttime, the darkness exposes them. Funny that in the dark they have no cover. What you see is a little more naked, a little more honest. One of the reasons I prefer the night. So my day began as usual about 8:30 p.m. I walked up the steps of the Star and into the city room. There were 2 telephone messages on my desk from a Corporal Bennett, and they said, "Please call Heinz Hospital." That's the Army hospital. One stamped at 11:35 a.m. and the other at 7:40 this evening. Please call.
Hello?
Hello, my name is Stone.
Oh, yeah, I'm trying to reach you.
What can I do for you, Corporal?
Well, it's not for me, Mr. Stone. It's for a buddy of mine. He just got out of the hospital today.
Well, that sounds good.
No, he's in trouble. Inside his head. He's out now on a 30-day furlough before they discharge him and,
Well, what can I do for him, Corporal?
Well, talk to him. You see, he's been reading your column, so have I. I think you might be able to help straighten him out.
Oh, this is his hometown?
Yeah, but he's all alone. He hasn't got anybody. Name is Perrin. Bill Perrin. He'll be in Spades.
Where?
Well, I spoke to him about 15 minutes ago. He called from a bar on State Street, a hideaway club. Look, Mr. Stone, he's a buddy. I'm worried.
All right, I'll check.
He's all mixed up, Mr. Stone. Please go easy with him, huh?
What was he in the hospital for, Corporal?
Head injuries. He's lost his memory.
I walked the state and down past Dearborn until I found the hideaway club. It was half dark inside, lit with glowing colors from the jukebox. Down at the end of the bar, a young fellow leaned on his elbows, a glass of beer in front of him. About 29 or 30, well-built, lean, with a pallid face, indoors too much. His clothes looked brand new. I walked down and sat on the high stool next to him, but he didn't turn to look at me. Bill Perrin?
What?
Stone is my name, Bill. I'm a newspaper man.
How do you know me?
A buddy of yours gave me a call, Corporal Bennett from Hines Hospital.
Oh. Well, you can forget about Bennett and me.
Yeah, he's kind of worried.
Yeah. Well, thanks. Everybody's worried but me. It's everybody's business. Why don't you all leave me alone?
Now, who's been bothering you?
You are right now.
Okay. Just thought I might try to help.
Hey, what did you say your name was?
Stone, Randy Stone.
Oh, yeah, you got a column in the Star.
That's why Corporal Bennett called me. He said you read my stuff. I guess he thought we'd get along.
Well, I don't think so.
You sound bitter. The column's not that bad.
Bitter? Why should I be bitter? What have I got to be bitter about?
Well, it might have been kind of rough in Korea.
Well, for a lot of other fellas, too. Now, you got me pegged all wrong. Thanks, anyway.
Well, maybe because you lost your memory.
He told you?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so what?
Well, Chicago's a big place. Maybe you feel a little lost, and maybe I can help a little.
If I need any help, I'll call the Salvation Army.
That's a good idea. Do that.
Hey, wait a minute, will you? I'm sorry. There is a way you can help me. Help me find my wife.
You have a wife?
I think so. My records show a wife. She'd never know it. You know this city. Maybe... Well, maybe...
Yeah, maybe.
Look, I wrote a couple of letters after I started to get back on my feet. The address on my service record. There was no answer.
Well, that could be any number of reasons.
Well, I never got the letters back. The allotment checks either. Well, I went to the address early this afternoon after I got out of Hines. It's a rooming house, new owner. Didn't know me or any Mrs. Perrin. He said he'd given the letters back to the mailman. Maybe they're still following me. I moved around a lot. Hospitals in Tokyo, Honolulu. Well, look, I don't know if she's alive.
Well, this amnesia of yours, can't you remember anything?
A lot before 6 weeks ago.
Uh-huh.
Her name. It's Alice. Who is she? What is she like? Does she love me? Where is she?
Well, how about the Army?
I didn't want them to. I didn't want them nosing around.
Why not?
Well, I guess I'm a little afraid. Oh, forget it, will you? Just forget it.
Did you try the telephone book?
Yeah, Hey, you want to see what she looks like?
A picture?
Yeah, it was with my things. No letters with my things, just vital statistics and this picture.
Oh, pretty.
Pretty? She's not pretty. I don't like pretty. It isn't a good word. There's something else there. Maybe lovely.
Oh, not maybe. She is lovely. How long you been married, Bill?
I wish I knew.
Uh-huh.
Now, what's the difference? What'll it come to anyway? How do I start my life all over again?
Well, the first thing to do is find your Alice. Come on.
No. I don't want to go with you.
Are you afraid?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think maybe you need your wife, Bill. I'll see what I can do. I dropped into a phone booth and called Vital Statistics and told the clerk what I wanted. Information on a marriage license made out to William Perrin and a girl by the name of Alice something. The clerk found a William Perrin married in 1945 to a girl named Alice Rowland. So the clerk looked up Alice Rowland in the city directory and found her now living at 1210 Waring Drive. The city on cards in a filing cabinet. 4 million lives cataloged in steel drawers. 1210 Waring Drive, apartment D. I pushed the button and waited.
Yes?
A big guy, 6'3" at least, and 220 pounds on the hoof. He was holding a highball glass in his hand.
What is it, Buster?
I'm looking for Alice Rowland.
Come in. Alice, Phil.
Just a minute, Danny.
What's it about?
Bill.
Hmm?
Alice's husband, Bill Perrin.
You better beat it, Buster.
What?
Alice doesn't want to hear about him.
Well, she'll tell me if she wants to.
I'm telling you. Come on out.
After I talk to Alice. Now, look, you got a highball in your hand, Danny. I've got 2 free hands.
I don't need but one hand. Okay, on your way.
It was ridiculous, but he slammed me up against the wall with just the tips of his fingers. Not even a hand. It felt like a pile driver or a piston rod of a locomotive. He was right at home here, Danny boy.
Danny, what is it?
Buster's just leaving.
No, she wasn't pretty. Pretty is a bad word. She was lovely. Lovely lines on her face, little puzzled, little disturbed as she looked at me. You know how just someone looking at you can hit you, like a pile driver? Well, she hit me, Alice Roland Perrin, the soldier's wife. He didn't remember. Kind of physical, you're Danny.
What do you want?
It's a tiny story.
What? What do you want?
I'll tell it to you.
Who are you?
Stone is my name, Randy Stone.
I aimed wrong. I should have thrown you out the door.
Please, Danny.
Your husband's in town.
My husband?
I told you, Alice. I shouldn't have let him in.
Why did you drop the Perrin from your name, Alice?
What do you want?
It's what Bill wants. He wants his wife.
Get out. Get out. Out.
See, Buster?
But Bill...
Bill. I hate everybody by the name of Bill. I hate them all. I don't know any Bill.
Well, he doesn't know any Alice either.
What?
He doesn't remember. He can't, Alice. That's why he sent me.
I don't care if he's dead. Do you understand, Mr. Stone? I don't care if he's dead.
NBC is bringing you Night Beat, starring Frank Lovejoy as Randy Stone. It's the Silver Jubilee on NBC. Tonight you're invited to high adventure over NBC with the amazing Mr. Malone, a hard-hitting, fast-moving criminal lawyer always out for a new client and new adventure. The Man Called X brings to the NBC microphone screen actor Herbert Marshall as a security agent intent on preserving world peace through counter-espionage. Now here's a program note. Sunday, hear Lloyd Nolan in Martin Caine, Private Eye on NBC. And now back to Night Beat and Randy Stone.
Maybe that was the motif. Danny with a highball glass in his hand, not spilling a drop, and Alice saying, I don't care if he's dead. Well, I did, because I'd seen this kid just back from Korea without a memory.
Okay, you heard of yourself now.
Sure.
Then on your way.
I got my breath back, Danny.
Save it.
Just on general principles. I don't like you, Danny. You better put the glass down.
I don't need to, Buster. Remember, just one hand.
It felt good hitting him right in the middle, hitting him for Bill, and hitting him because I was angry at him, at Alice, at the whole thing. A big guy, a big target. He doubled over, and I brought one up from the floor. And I took care of the drink, too. Probably stained the nice figured rug.
Don't.
Don't what, Alice?
Well, help me with him. The couch.
He's not out. Okay, get up.
Did you do that?
You're soft.
Just a second. I need some of that breath back in my arms.
Oh, Danny, go on home. Leave me alone.
I'm not just going to walk out and let you get involved in all that again.
Oh, what? You heard the lady, Danny boy. This is her apartment, isn't it? Even though you seem to know your way around.
Please, stop it.
Alice.
Danny, I want to talk to Mr. Stone.
Okay. But don't come running back to me with your troubles again.
What kind of a joker is that? You sure picked the right guy.
Don't try to make a comedy out of it. He's my brother.
Oh.
I asked him to go because I don't want any more fighting. Now you can go, too, Mr. Stone.
Not interested in Bill?
No.
Don't even want to see him?
No.
He's been shot up?
Well, I hope he's all right. I didn't mean what I said about him being dead, but it doesn't matter to me. Don't you understand? I wouldn't like to see anybody dead. That's why I wouldn't like to see Bill dead.
How long have you been married?
Too long.
Well, that must have been a dandy marriage, make you feel like this after just 6 years.
All right, you know how long. I'm surprised Bill remembered.
Bill didn't. I got it from your marriage license. Bill doesn't remember anything before 6 weeks ago.
Oh.
He doesn't remember you, Alice, but he wants to remember. Maybe because he needs
Look,
you.
Mr. Stone, I don't want to talk about it. It's all done. It's finished.
Well, not for Bill, it isn't. You know, to tell you the truth, he struck me as a nice guy.
Yeah, he is.
Kind of a guy who'd make a nice home.
Mr. Stone, you don't know anything about him. We've been married 6 years, and it's been a miserable 6 years. Dying all the time.
Dying? Why?
What does a woman want? She falls in love and she marries a man who's in love with her. She wants a home, a little responsibility, friends. She wants to be able to help her husband, to build something. She doesn't want a husband who's a good-time Charlie, a nice guy.
but a gambler and a drinker.
I see.
She doesn't want a husband who lives from payday to payday and leaves his wife alone 7 nights out of the week. She doesn't want her marriage to fall into a rut like that where she's taken for granted and her husband's softest endearment is to call her gorgeous. Hiya, gorgeous. Goodbye, gorgeous. I got a hot poker game on tonight. Don't stay up for me, gorgeous.
I see.
What do you think, Mr. Stone? If the chance came, don't you think she'd like to get rid of a husband like that?
Maybe.
Tried to save $1 a week. Put it away in the bank. I couldn't. Tried to get him away from that hole-in-the-wall rooming house we lived in. Tried to get him to buy a house, settle down. Tried to get him to stop gambling. Tried to tear him away from his cronies. Oh, yes, I tried.
I never thought I could misjudge a man so badly.
Oh, he's got a way about him.
Well, I didn't see the way about him. I saw a guy who's been through some tough times, and he's a little bewildered and a little scared.
That's a different picture than I have of him. And it's just possible I know him a little better.
Oh, sure, I can't argue that. But, before you chuck him away, why don't you do him a favor?
What kind of a favor? Mr. Stone, I don't want to get involved with him again.
Help him get his memory back.
Oh, that's the easiest thing I can do.
Oh?
He'll remember soon enough. Just take him to the places he used to go, the poker games, the gambling places, the bars.
Will you go along?
Will I? Sure. Sure, it won't take long.
I'll be kind of interested myself. Where's the first stop?
The Century Club, Mr. Stone. One look at the dice games, and it'll all come back to him.
I called the hotel and told Bill to meet us in front of the Century Club. And I figured the expense account could absorb a taxi. Alice didn't say a word, but there was something aloof and frozen in her, as though she'd put her heart in cold storage and wasn't going to thaw it out for anything or anyone. The taxi pulled up in front of the nightclub. I got out, helped Alice out, and stood on the sidewalk for a moment before I saw Bill. He was a little way off, lonesome and waiting, looking at Alice with a soft, curious look in his eye.
Here it is, Mr. Stone. We'll have to go through the nightclub. There are stairs behind the orchestra pit.
Hello.
Oh, Bill. This is your wife.
Yeah. Well, thanks.
Well, do you want to go upstairs, Mr. Stone? It'll help him a lot more to see the gambling. He'll remember it a lot more than he'll remember me.
What? What is it?
We're going to try to bring back your memory, Bill.
Oh? Something wrong?
Well, let's find out. He kept looking at her. He couldn't take his eyes off her. Once, when she felt his steady stare, she looked back for a second, and he turned away, embarrassed. Kind of funny, a guy falling for his wife all over again after 6 years. But she wasn't having it. We went through the nightclub to the back. I stopped at the bottom of the stairs.
No, not here, upstairs.
Yeah, I know, but not much point in me rolling along like an extra wheel.
Isn't there? You started this. You leave and I leave. This is no fun for me.
Bill, don't you think...
No. Please, Randy. Please stay with us.
No, Bill didn't think so either. So we went up the stairs and down a long aisle to a door marked with a big flowery C. I knocked, the door opened. A man in a tuxedo looked out at me.
Yes?
Can we get in?
No.
Well, I'm Randy Stone.
No.
You know Bill Perrin.
Oh, sure. Hi, Bill. Haven't seen you for a long time. Come in, if you'll vouch for this guy.
You know me?
Oh, well, that's good. Come in, folks. Make yourselves at home.
Should be familiar. It hasn't changed. Same tables, same roulette wheels, even the same smoke in the air.
Well, Bill?
No, I never saw this place before. I don't understand.
Want to throw the dice a little?
I had to work too hard for my money, Mr. Stone. Why should I throw it away?
No, it sounds good. It sounds awfully good.
Did I gamble? Is that it? Did I throw my money away?
Do you remember Arlington Park? Leaving your job afternoons to go out there and bet on the horses?
Oh, there's quite a guy, wasn't there?
This is just one of the places. Remember a place called the Starlight Cafe?
No, what is it?
It was your home, away from home. The last year before you left for the Army.
Well, let's have a look.
Well, why? I don't want to.
It'll help you remember, Bill. It's worth a try. I was going to flag another taxi, but Bill said he'd hired a car, so we walked around the corner where he'd parked it, and Alice gave him directions. Like a guy taking his medicine, Bill didn't say anything now. He didn't even look at Alice, sitting up in the front seat right next to him. If Bill had been lonely and fumbling before, he was lost and without hope now. Now he knew he wasn't wanted. Now he was not only lonely, he was rejected. A lover without love. We got out in front of a tired little place with a 3-foot blue neon sign over the doorway, Starlight Cafe. A roadhouse, one of 1,000 that grew like fungi along the highway. Bill stopped just inside the doorway, looked around, looked at everything, trying to find something to remember and not happy about it. A dirty place, dark, with booze and a girl drinking by herself at one end of the bar. A few couples down the other end. Bartender leaning a meaty arm over the bar, mopping the counter. His face lighting up as he caught sight of Bill.
Well, Bill Perrin, it's been a dark day.
The usual, Harry.
Sure. I heard you lost out the draft board, Bill. Sure. Some of the best people win that kind of a raffle.
He wasn't drafted.
No?
He re-enlisted. Well, there's your drink. Maybe a couple of them will make you remember instead of making you forget like it used to.
What a guy I was.
It doesn't come back?
No.
Harry, how many times did I have to come here and take him home?
Oh, so he fell asleep here once in a while. So what?
All the time we were married?
Not at first. Not at all at first. Oh, you always gambled. You always liked your friends around you, even more than you liked me. But the last year, it was as though you didn't care for anything very much. Nothing to live for.
Let's get out of here.
Your drink?
I don't want it.
Here, bartender, take it out of this.
Why, sure, okay. What's wrong?
A scientific experiment in time travel. The past and the present are caught up with each other.
Well, where are we going now?
To visit a friend of yours, a bosom pal. You shouldn't have any trouble remembering him. Saw a lot more of him than of me. Turn right at the corner.
What's his name?
Johnny Stevens, you'll remember.
Stevens? There's a Stevens in the hospital in Tokyo.
Johnny Stevens. He didn't go to war.
I don't know him.
Maybe the face will help.
You grew up with him. You two played cards together since you were 11 years old.
Cards?
Poker, all kinds. Stud, draw. Right there, that's his house.
All right.
And there's where we used to live. That house, the dirty one we couldn't move away from. Stevens lives 3 houses down. Why move away from your pals?
Bill killed the motor, and we got out. There's a small light on in one of the rooms. Alice rang the bell.
Well, hello, Johnny.
Oh, hi, Alice. Hey, Billy boy, when you get back? Boy, if you only knew how I missed you.
You missed me?
The old gang ain't what it used to be. I ain't had a real hot game of poker since you left. That's a long time, Billy. Say, look, how about tonight, huh? Phil called a little while ago. We couldn't scare up enough hands. Maybe a friend.
Oh, this is Mr. Stone, Randy Stone.
Oh, hi, Randy.
Hi.
Look, if you're a friend of Bill's, you sure play a cagey hand of stud.
Bill just got out of the hospital, Johnny.
Hospital?
He lost his memory. We hoped seeing you might be able to help him.
Wait a minute. You mean he don't remember anything? Hey, Bill, you don't remember me?
No.
Well, you don't remember the gang?
No. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I bet you remember a pair of deuces is better than a busted flush, though, huh? Come on, what about it? Let's get a game together. I'll call the guys.
No, thanks.
Oh, sure. Settle yourself down around the table with a stack of chips in front of you, and Teddy and Milty and...
No, thanks.
What's the matter? The old lady nagging again? Don't she ever learn it don't do no good?
Nagging?
No more nagging, Bill. Go on, play with him. You want a friendly game of poker, don't you, with your pal?
Maybe I needed something more than nagging, like some shell splinters in my head to make me understand. Goodbye, Stevens.
Stevens?
Let's get out of here. Come on, let's get out of here.
He doesn't remember you, Johnny. I don't think he wants to remember you either. Back in Bill's car, Bill's shoulders were tense, and on his face was the discovery of the kind of guy he'd been. Yeah, the night was running true to form. You can kid yourself there's hope for a lost cause when the sun is shining, but you gotta face the facts for what they are at night. And now there was just loneliness for Bill and bitterness for Alice.
Take me home, please.
Can't understand it. I don't want to gamble. I don't want to drink. I don't know how I could have been like that.
It's not hard to figure, Bill. Lots of marriages fall into ruts. People take each other for granted and get into selfish ways.
You do a lot of thinking in the Army. You're alone most of the time, alone with your thoughts. You look at a picture of a woman and you think, she's married to me, and what kind of a life did I give her?
Take me home. Take me home.
Sure, I will. I'm sorry, Alice.
You weren't drafted, Bill. You re-enlisted, so Alice says. Why?
Well,
To get away from me, to chuck it all.
Maybe he didn't like the things he was doing either.
Well, if he didn't, he put on a good act of liking them.
Not that way now, Alice.
For how long?
Well, maybe it's worth finding out.
Until he gets his memory back. Until he remembers everything. Sure, maybe he doesn't want to gamble now. But how about tomorrow? When his memory comes back, all the rest of it will come back, too. Hey, where are we going? We're not going home.
No, we're not.
Stop this car.
I'll stop it when we get where we're going.
What are you trying to pull, Bill?
Sit back in your seat, Stone. We're going fast enough now so that a little turn of the wheel...
It's kind of a dumb play, Bill. What's the angle?
I found out some things about myself tonight. I also found out I have a wife. Well, I don't like what I found out. But I don't want to go back to being nobody again either.
So?
So I'm going to say some things, and Alice is going to have to listen.
All right, but you don't have to do it at 60 miles an hour.
I can't explain about how I was before. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make any sense at all.
Bill, there are all kinds of
Week after week, lying in that hospital bed with nothing to do but try and remember. Only all you had was this great big blank.
Mr. Stone, you'll wreck the car.
Well, they say you have a wife. They say that picture on your nightstand. That's her. But what's she really like? Where is she now? Maybe she's thinking about you, worrying about you. Maybe she's praying for you.
Please, Bill.
This wife you can't even remember. Just knowing that somewhere she exists. I don't know. I can't explain it, but it makes a difference. It makes a difference having somebody in this crazy, lonely world who cares whether you live or die.
Stop it! Stop it!
What? Oh, all right. I'm sorry.
I don't know if Bill Perrin should have been let out of the hospital sooner or if he belonged there for the rest of his life. He was either awfully determined or awfully dangerous. We were hitting the outskirts of the city. Bill was driving slower now, as though he knew where he was going.
Look, why don't you take me home? It's late. I've got to go to work tomorrow.
Well, I said to myself on that hospital bed, now's your chance. Be smart. You've been saving every penny out of your sergeant's pay. Do something with your life. And for this wife, you can't even remember.
We were driving through an area of one-family houses, middle class and nice. Bill turned a corner and put on his brakes. A neat little house with yellow lights framing the door and a big sign on the lawn, sold. Bill sat there looking out the windshield, not turning to look at us.
When I got out of the hospital this afternoon, I rented this car and drove out here. I wanted to take another look at it.
Another? You let that slip, Bill.
It was a long time ago, this same house. I wanted to buy it so bad.
I know, Alice.
You drove out on a Sunday. You didn't even want to look at it. You remembered this house. You remembered everything.
Alice.
You don't have amnesia. All those places we went to tonight.
You said I'd change back to what I was when I got my memory back.
Bill.
Do you still believe it?
Oh, Bill.
He never had amnesia. He used to trick me so that I could help him get back his wife. He and that buddy of his, Corporal Bennett, used me for a fall guy. Well, I feel pretty good about it, being used as a patsy. Feel pretty good Bill understood between the lines of the things I wrote. Feel pretty good Bill had the courage and the instinct to fight his way back to health. Because he was sick at one time. And the amnesia? Well, he wanted to forget the things he'd done, and I think he did pretty good. I couldn't want to do any better with some of my own problems. Oh, well. Copy, boy.
Night Beat, starring Frank Lovejoy, is produced and directed by Warren Lewis. Tonight's transcribed story was written by Merwin Gerard and Celia Glester, with music by Robert Armbruster. The part of Bill Perrin was played by Stacey Harris. Joan Banks was Alice. Others featured in tonight's cast were Ted DeCorsia, Ed Max, and Tony Barrett. Frank Lovejoy can currently be seen co-starring with Joan Crawford and Robert Young in Warner Brothers' Goodbye, My Fancy. Night Beat came to you from Hollywood. It's the Silver Jubilee on NBC.
This, I believe. Carl Gerkens is Professor Emeritus of Oberlin College in Ohio. He was the founder and the head of the Department of Music Education there for 35 years. In addition, he wrote more than a dozen books, revised some 12,000 musical terms for the Webster New International Dictionary, and edited a music magazine. At Oberlin, he developed a 4-year curriculum in music education that has become a pattern for most of the music schools of the country. Now retired, he still continues to write and give valuable counsel. Here now is Professor Gerkens.
Early in my career, I learned that the best way to find out clearly and exactly what I thought about anything was to write it down, keep revising my words until I had said exactly what my ideas or feelings were. Some years ago, I began to set down some items under the caption, What I Believe. And today I am to give you a condensed version of what I wrote. Not with the idea of urging anyone else to accept the same things, but merely to make clear the beliefs at which I myself have arrived. I continue to believe in man, a common man. I believe that each person is composed of a mixture of the strong and the weak, the good and the bad, as we often call it, and that what we think of as God is merely the best, the purest, the noblest that exists in man. No one is perfect in the sense that he is all goodness. Every man and woman is imperfect, just as life on earth is imperfect. But God is the very quintessence of perfection, and I believe that most human beings are struggling to become more loving, more intelligent, more tolerant of differences, more far-sighted. In short, more godlike. We are humble because we recognize our own imperfection, and we revere the being who to us represents perfection, the ideal of love, wisdom, and power. I believe similarly that what we think of as the devil is merely the totality of all that is worst in man. His avarice, his lust for power, his weakness and fear, his cruelty. Thus man actually creates both his God and his devil. They are not persons, they are merely essences. In the one case the essence of the very best, in the other case the very worst. I believe that man has certain inalienable rights, not merely his right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, but the right to think for himself, the right to be free from dictatorship and from devastating fear, the right, in other words, to be an individual, conforming at certain points, but not fearing to be himself as a person, who in many respects is like others, yet is in many ways different from any other. And I believe that no man, woman, or child ought ever to feel that he is inferior because of these differences. I believe in service to others. If I sincerely love my neighbor, I shall want to serve him, be kind and generous toward him. I believe in education, too. It is man's final hope. If I am to be intelligent about myself, about other people, about the life of the world, I must continue to study and think and listen. Of course, I believe in the progress of science, mechanics, and efficiency, but if I have no faith in any of these except as they contribute to a better life for the men, women, and children who inhabit the earth. I believe in immortality also, in the sense that all people influence all other people. for good or for bad, and that because of their good deeds or their bad ones, they continue to live on for eons of time in the lives of those who had any sort of contact with them. Finally, I believe in truth, goodness, and love as the most powerful forces in the universe, and therefore I remain an optimist in the face of all the selfishness, greed, and cruelty that confront us today. The better world that I envision will not come into being during my own lifetime, but this is only an insignificant detail, because I am firmly and sincerely convinced that it will eventually evolve.
That was Carl Gerkins of Elk Rapids, Michigan, who is one of the outstanding music educators in the country.
Listen while the makers of Rexall drug products and 10,000 independent Rexall family druggists bring you Dick Powell as Richard Diamond, private detective.
Good evening. This is your Rexall family druggist, speaking to you for the 10,000 independent druggists who have made the word Rexall part of our own store names and put the orange and blue Rexall sign on our windows. We've done that because we recommend and sell the 2,000 or more drug products made by the Rexall Drug Company. A good example of their quality is Bismarex, Rexall's popular antacid. Bismarex often relieves acid stomach within 1 minute. And because its scientifically balanced ingredients vary in the time it takes them to dissolve in the stomach, the relief they give is not only quick, but continuous and prolonged. Quality like that of Bismarex is what we family druggists are talking about when we tell you you can depend on any drug product that bears the name Rexall.
Good health to all from Rexall. Now your Rexall family druggist brings you another exciting half hour with Richard Diamond, private detective, starring Dick Powell.
Come in.
You Mr. Richard Diamond?
That's right, but keep it quiet and we'll split the reward.
Well, my name is Tobias P. Briggs.
He ducked as he edged through the door. If he hadn't, he'd have taken the whole wall with him. Nearly 7 feet, going up with a pair of shoulders that made King Kong look like a before picture for dynamic tension. But being a guy who lives dangerously, I shook his hand, made a mental note to pick up my scattered knuckles, and offered him a chair.
Thank you. Mr. Diamond, how much would it cost for you to help me?
Well, I usually break my back for $100 a day in expenses.
Oh, that's a lot of money.
I break a lot of back. Let's talk some more, though. Guys your size usually don't need help.
Well, I got the money. Been saving. You see, I wrestle 2, maybe 3 times a week at the Universal Arena. I promised Mike I'd put 1 purse a week in the bank. He was saving, too.
Who's Mike?
Mike Burton. He's dead, Mr. Diamond.
Oh, I'm sorry, Toby. Who was Mike?
Well, Mike and me was buddies from the Army. He was a great guy, Mr. Diamond. A real great guy.
What happened to him?
Mike drove a truck for an outfit here in town. Cross-State Trucking Company. We had enough money saved we were going to get our own truck, maybe 2 trucks, do our own hauling. Be in business for ourselves, you know. Last week he was fixing a flat on the highway at night. The car hit him and took off.
Oh, hit and run, huh? Well, it's a lousy deal, Toby, and I know what you're leading up to. But the police will hunt the guy down sooner or later. I don't handle traffic accidents.
Mr. Diamond, I feel maybe it was no accident.
Oh? Well, then keep going.
Well, last week, night before it happened, Mike says to me, Toby, boy, I got a hunch we're going into business real quick now. He said we might be able to buy our first truck right after his next haul. Mike knew we didn't have that kind of dough ready.
What did he say when you reminded him?
He gave me a wink and a punch in the arm. You know, like guys do sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
He's a great guy, Mr. Diamond.
Oh, well, I see. Now, look, Toby, the afternoon's pretty well shot anyway. I'll port around town a little, and if I can find anything to back up your suspicions, I'll take the case. If not, you owe me 2 tickets to your next match. Is it a deal?
Yeah, sure. But tell me right away if you know something, huh? I'm in the gym every morning right behind the Universal Sports Arena, 8th Avenue. You know where it is.
Oh, sure, yes. Some of my best muscles grew up there. So long, Toby. When he walked out, the office seemed to shrink back to normal. I counted my fingers, picked the one with the most circulation in it, and put it to work dialing Helen's number. I told her I might be late for dinner, threw her a kiss over the pipe, closed the office, and headed to the 5th Precinct Police Station and Lieutenant Walt Levinson. Walt was out of his office, but the king of the jungle, Sergeant Otis, was plopped in his chair. Number 14's crossed and resting on the desk like he was expecting a promotion.
Hello, Shamus. For a guy who don't work here, you certainly hang around a lot.
I could say the same for you, Otis. Where's the lieutenant?
He ain't here.
No.
Well, he ain't.
Isn't.
Okay, he isn't. And you isn't as smart as you think you is.
Oh, hello, Rick. What's up?
Oh, hiya, Walt. Nothing, probably. But I'd appreciate a look-see at the hit-and-run files for the last week. Might be a case.
Now it's traffic accidents. Diamond, is there anything you won't do for a buck?
Sergeant, ask me for the next dance and you'll find out.
All right, cut it out, you two. Here you are, Rick. Take this note to Sergeant for our hit-and-run felony detail. It's down at the end of the hall.
Thanks, Walt.
You bet. Otis.
Yeah?
Sergeant Otis, do you mind if I sit down now?
Oh, yes, sir. Sorry, Lieutenant.
Farrar, in Hit and Run, gave me the case folder on Mike Burton. Except for a few details, nothing different than Toby's story. Only witness to the supposed accident was a man named Roy Cooley, Mike's driving partner. He had made the identification on the car when the police found it deserted the next day. A quick check on the license had shown it to be stolen. So another lead went down the drain. Only the fact that it had been stolen made me think that Toby might have been right when he said it wasn't an accident. I hit the street and grabbed a cab with the Cross-State Trucking Company. From outside the wire fence, there wasn't much to see. A long line of diesel trucks parked side by side. I spotted something that looked like an office and went in. There was a girl inside. Oh, maybe not just a girl. She parked her bubble gum and gave her blonde upsweep a pat.
Can I help you?
Well, if you couldn't, I'd kill myself.
Listen, mister, if you've got some business here, you better...
honey, I'm looking for Roy Cooley. Know him?
That's a good one. Mr. Cooley's my boss. Believe me, I know him. He's not around right now.
Cooley's your boss? Oh, if you don't mind, I'll wait.
What company are you with, Mr.
Diamond. Richard. I am, you should excuse the expression, a private detective.
A private eye? Gee, I never met a private eye before. I thought it was just a kind of story thing.
Well, it is, in a way.
My name's Patty. For Patricia. I'm sort of a bookkeeper stenographer around here.
Sounds like a big job for just one pretty girl.
Oh, you're just saying that. I really was lucky to get such a job, especially when I had no experience. Just 1 week out of business school, and pop, I go to work for a big company at $65 a week.
And what is the secret of your success, Miss Carnegie?
My second name's Jablonski, Patty Jablonski. Between you and me, Mr. Diamond, the job's a snap. See all those trucks out there? Well, mostly they just sit like that. We don't make more than 10 shipments a week. You know something? The company's been in the red the whole 6 months I've been here.
Really?
But I like it here. I can dress kind of casual, sweaters and things.
Yeah. Tell me, dear, did you know Mike Burton?
Gee, I sure did. Did you know him?
How come the boss, Roy Cooley, was driving with Mike the night it happened?
He was, wasn't he? Well, I guess that's because Tim Lasco quit a couple of days before. Tim used to be Mike's regular wheel buddy. Mr. Cooley was filling in, I guess.
Any idea why Tim Lasco quit?
Search me. In times like these, when a guy with 5 kids quits his job, he must have had a good reason.
You wouldn't have Tim's address lying around anywhere, would you?
Right on my desk. I'm mailing his last check out.
I wrote down Lasco's address and paid her off with a few compliments before I left. Tim Lasco's place seemed like the next stop until I saw a couple of warehousemen loading crates into one of the trucks. The crates were marked sporting goods in a big black stencil. And just to keep busy, I found a piece of scratch paper and took down the address they were being shipped to. About that time, a hairy hand reached over my shoulder and made crumpled spitball out of my manuscript. I did a slow turn and saw that the hand was connected to a beer barrel with legs. It talked, too.
Looking for something, mister?
Who are you?
I'm the boss, Cooley.
Oh, well, my name's Diamond. The union...
You can forget that routine. I spoke to the union guys 3 days ago. Beat it, scram.
Oh. How come you were driving with Mike Burton the night he was killed?
Mister, you're asking for it.
There's a little sign on the front gate you can read on the way out about trespassers. This is private property. Now, are you going, or do I call some of the boys?
It hurt me to admit that he had the law on his side, not to mention the lump under his jacket from what was probably the new look and shoulder holsters. I figured to do better after a talk with Tim Lasco. 20 minutes later, I was climbing the stairs of a brownstone in Washington Heights. The Lascos lived on the 3rd floor. I straightened my tie and put my best finger forward.
Yes?
Oh, hello. I'm looking for Tim Lasco.
Oh, come right in. My husband is shaving.
Who is it, Mary?
A man to see you, Tim.
Okay. All right. Excuse me. Call me shaving. Sit down.
Thank you. Tim, you used to ride with Mike Burton, didn't you?
Hey, who are you? What do you want here?
Well, I'm a private detective. Name's Diamond.
Now, Mr. Diamond, or whoever you are, I don't know nothing. Nothing, you hear? Leave my family and me alone. Will you go away? Please, go away.
Why did you quit the cross-state trucking outfit?
Honest, Diamond, I don't know nothing. Look, I've been a truck driver 15 years. I didn't like Cooley's outfit. Most of the work is at night. Too many long hauls out west. I didn't like the job.
Tim. Won't buy it.
Diamond, try to understand, will you? I got 5 kids. Give me a break, will you?
There was no sense going around again. I told him I'd be back, which he took about as gracefully as a guy learning he had leprosy, so I left. I rode downtown, squatted on a stool in a coffee shop with a good view of the cross-state warehouse. The coffee shop had a waitress who was as ugly as the warehouse.
Got a 75-cent dinner special. You interested?
I'll have a little coffee and...
A lot of donuts.
Oh, well, then coffee and conversation.
Is there any chance of you taking me away from all this?
Wouldn't work out. I drink.
I'll reform you. Want cream?
No.
One black. How come you're staring at that warehouse instead of me? Want to give me a complex? What's the matter? Did I say a dirty word?
We kicked it around until the warehouse was empty, except for a muscle-bound night watchman who chain smoked behind the front gate. It was a short walk to the fence behind the loading dock. A garbage can and some fancy scrambling helped me over. And then I squirreled under the line of trucks until I reached the one they'd loaded that afternoon. The crates were nailed tight, and it took a lot of scratching and pulling before I wedged one open. About then, I heard 3 pairs of feet echoing down the loading platform. I ducked out of the truck, but that half-open crate must have missed me after all the time we'd spent together because it spilled over and turned loose a shower of baseball bats. I grabbed one since it seemed like a good idea and snuggled up against the huge tires under the truck.
Who's there? Hey, Red, you let anyone in? Not me, boy. Whoever you are, Buster, you better come out with your hands up. We got guns. Okay, Red, you and Harry stay out in front of the trucks. I'll go coax our visitor out.
He was poking around gun first in each truck and then around it. Sooner or later, he was going to reach my truck. So I sprinted across an open 10 yards until I got into a friendly shot of the next truck in line.
All right, stay where you are. I can see you.
He was lying, and I knew it because I couldn't even see myself. There were 3 more trucks ahead of me, 3 more open spaces. Then I'd be at the back fence. I closed my mouth so my teeth wouldn't shine like a beaver at a dentist convention and moved. I reached the last truck and waited. The glint of his gun barrel kept coming at me like a one-eyed cat. I held the bat ready. It must have been a well-balanced hunk of wood because it felt like a feather in my fist. The bat cracked wide open like an overboiled hot dog, but it stretched coolly out. I didn't wait for the others to find out what happened, but I took off over that back fence like a kangaroo with his tail on fire. Once I made the street, I caught a cruising cab and relaxed until my breath caught up with me. The broken bat handle was still in my hand. I was about to chalk it up as an inferior bat until a closer look changed my mind. The inside of the bat was as hollow as a politician's promise, and it wasn't for ventilation. It was there to hide something that had to be hidden.
You're listening to Richard Diamond, Private Detective, brought to you by the makers of Rexall Drug Products and your Rexall family druggist. And here he is.
A lot of people think that during the summer they don't need to worry about the dangers of vitamin deficiency. But the truth is, vitamin deficiency is no respecter of seasons.
You mean we're just as likely to be low on vitamins during the summer as any other time?
Exactly, ma'am. And that's why I tell my customers to continue supplementing their daily diet with Rexall Plenamins.
What?
Plenamins. Rexall's famous multivitamin capsules. You see, ma'am, just 2 Plenamine capsules a day give you more than your daily minimum requirement of every vitamin for which such requirements have been established.
Say, that's really vitamin protection.
But that's not all. Plenamins also give you valuable liver concentrate and iron, plus other factors of the vitamin B complex.
Gee, they sound expensive.
On the contrary, Plenamins cost you only pennies a day. But most important, Plenamins wear the Rexall label, and you can depend on any drug product that bears the name Rexall.
Now back to tonight's adventure with Richard Diamond, Private Detective, starring Dick Powell.
So I had the stump of a hollow baseball bat in my hand and a half-dozen theories about why it was hollow. But none of my theories proved any connection between a phony trucking outfit and Mike Burton being killed by a hit-and-run driver. I put the bat under lock and key in my office desk, then stopped at the Hall of Records where Pop McIntyre handles the night watchman chores. Under registered corporations, I found the Cross-State Trucking Company and the up-to-now unknown name of Harry Fenner listed as its head. I thanked Pop, then went across town to check through the newspaper morgue at the Tribune. It was an all-night job because I had to dig back to 1926 before the name of Harry Fenner sprang off the yellow pages. He used to be a small-time bootlegger, but I couldn't hold that against him. Some of the biggest bootleggers had gone straight and become used car salesmen. I had breakfast before dropping in at the Universal Gym to see Toby. The king-sized client of mine was being mauled in the center of the ring while a chunky little guy in a black beret was hopping around full of advice.
No, Toby. You're wrestling with King Kong Rabinowitz, not Snow White. Use your knees. On his nose.
Okay. How's this? Oh!
No, don't overdo it. You hide his face from the television camera too long. What's the good if no one sees him suffer?
Hey, Toby.
Oh, hiya, Mr. Diamond. Ziggy will be back in a minute.
I know you're busy, Toby, so I won't waste time.
You found out something about Mike, didn't you? I was right, huh?
Well, let's just say that I'm taking the case. Toby, now think hard. Did Mike ever say anything about baseball bats? Anything?
Baseball bat.
Yeah?
Sunday before Mike was killed. Yeah, he said something kind of funny. He said maybe he'd hit a home run pretty soon, and Mike never played baseball.
Oh. Toby, when you get through here, meet me in my office. I'll tell you what I've got, and we can take it from there.
Okay. See you soon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Diamond. My name is Harry Fenner.
Oh. Well, who are those 2 bullet-headed characters with you?
They're my business associates.
Well, you must be in a rotten business. How'd you get in here? I just had the exterminators over last week.
Oh, well, I'm afraid I owe you for a new lock. I'll just add it to the retainer I'm going to pay you.
Oh, you're going to hire me?
I have here $500, which I place on your desk. Earning it will be easy.
Under whose nails do I put the bamboo splints?
I hope your good humor continues. The fact is, Diamond, I collect odd things, like antique furniture, marine life specimens, and old bat handles. Someone stole one of my old bat handles. Money's yours if you can locate it.
Something like that would be worth more than money to me. An old bat handle would go just right with my collection of old saxophone reeds and croquet mallets.
Is that your polite way of saying no?
No, it's my impolite way of saying that a certain bat handle is going to win you the hottest seat in Sing Sing. And if you think I'm bluffing, let's see what they think down at the 5th Precinct.
Put down that phone!
Oh! He cracked me across the knuckles with a cane he was carrying, and my left hand took the day off. Then Fenner turned to his 2 happiness boys.
Gentlemen, Mr. Diamond is stubborn. Unstubborn him.
His 2 blood collectors came after me like there was a shortage of plasma. I dodged around the desk like a loose guinea pig in a biology class and finally managed to locate a stomach for my one good hand. I sunk it in up to my charm bracelet.
But before I could enjoy the reaction, a fistful of dimes creased the back of my head, and I came apart. I don't know how long it was before my eyes unglued. I was on my back enjoying a bug's eye view of the ceiling, but that's all I was enjoying. My head felt like a yo-yo being worked by a guy with a DTs. And then something big leaned over me.
Mr. Diamond? Mr. Diamond, you okay?
Oh, yeah, dandy. Oh, Toby, if I felt any worse, I'd be dead.
Oh, that's too bad. It's a good thing I got here. Those guys are doing a swell job on you for real.
Oh, things came back into focus. Fenner's muscle men were draped over each other in the middle of the floor, quietly unconscious. It was becoming.
I had to get pretty rough with them. It was 2 against 1. Them and me, I mean. What's it all about, Mr. Diamond?
I gave Toby a quick resume about Fenner, Cooley, and the phony trucking business, including the hollow bats. As he listened, I saw new muscles growing on his old ones. He wasn't interested in details.
Mr. Diamond, did this Fenner guy kill Mike?
Well, Toby, I think Mike found out that Fenner and Cooley were shipping hot goods, probably jewels, in the hollow bats. If he did, I think maybe Fenner killed him.
Mm-hmm. Where does this Fenner guy live?
Well, wait a minute. It's here on my desk. I was just going to give it to the police when I was crudely interrupted.
No, don't call the cops. Give me that address.
But what's the idea, Toby? We've got the score. It's a cop's job now.
No, I say no. This Fenner, he got lots of dough. If he did kill Mike, he gets a big lawyer and he goes free. I don't want that, Mr. Diamond. I'll find out.
I tried to cool him down, keep him in the office. Then I found myself airborne. He bounced me against the wall, and I decided not to do anything until the room stopped circuiting.
Sorry about this, Mr. Diamond, because you're an all right guy. But don't try to stop me on this.
I got up and weaved over to my desk, phoned Walt, and gave him Fenner's address in Long Island.
Why should I meet you there?
Murder, Walt, and bring some friends. Fenner's house was a big white colonial with high French windows looking out on a big garden. The windows were closest, so I moved up and looked in. The room was a library, or what was left of it. Toby had torn it apart and was now concentrating on Fenner. He had him backed up against a tall bookcase, holding him by the front of his smoking jacket, high enough so Fenner's toes pointed down, trying to touch the carpet a good foot beneath. Toby had the jacket pulled tightly around Fenner's throat, and Fenner was trying for the $64 breath.
What you killing for? Come on, what you killing for?
Hey, Toby, let him go. Oh, he's going to tell me. You say that. He's going to tell me or I break his rotten neck.
He's too choked up, Toby. Couldn't answer you if you wanted to. Now let him down. Let him down.
Okay. Now, talk, Fenner, talk.
Diamond, get this maniac away from me.
Well, ask me something simple, like moving the Empire State Building. You better talk, Fenner.
I don't know what you want.
You're a liar. You're no good liar.
All right.
That's better. Now, why'd you kill Mike?
He was loading some of the bats. When one broke open and...
Come on.
Oh, the diamonds spilled out. He wanted a cut. Big cut. So I had Cooley make the last trip with him. I was following in a hot car. That's it. Now let me go, will you?
Kill a nice guy like that.
He would have framed me.
You're a liar. Now I'm going to kill you.
Toby! Toby grabbed Fenner, and I grabbed Toby. But it was like trying to put the brakes on a charging elephant. Toby hung on to Fenner's throat and shook me loose. Fenner was dying fast. And it looked like I couldn't do much about it until the door opened and trouble sneaked in from left field. Cooley.
Break it up. Cooley, help me.
You better relax, Toby. That gun in Mr. Cooley's hand gives him the floor.
He's the other one, ain't he, Mr. Diamond?
Cooley, give it to him. Right in the middle.
And then I heard the heavenly sound of flat feet. Cooley half turned for a moment, but it was enough for me to push Toby behind a couch and dive in after him.
Quick! Cooley, let him have it.
Cooley spun back around and tried his luck anyway, but missed. He and Fenner made a rush for the window, but some of Walt's men were waiting for them. They tried to shoot it out. Cooley never got more than 1 foot over the windowsill. Fenner did better, but he was dead when he hit the ground.
Rick, are you all right, Rick?
Oh, if it wasn't, you'd never hear the end of it.
Mr. Diamond, You don't really believe what that punk said about Mike, do you? Mike was a straight guy all his life.
Toby, this clean-cut gentleman standing right next to me is Lieutenant Walter Levinson of Homicide.
Right.
What I tell him is official, so you listen. Look, Walt, Fenner and Cooley were part of a fence setup. Bought stolen goods, sold them out west. The Cross-State Trucking Company was just a blind. Well, that just about cleans it up, Toby. You see, Mike probably suspected something, and they were afraid he'd go to the police. That's why they killed him.
Sure, I knew it was that way. Thanks, Mr. Diamond. Well, I better get back to town. Ziggy's got me matched tonight.
Good luck, Toby.
Yeah, thanks. Say, Mr. Diamond, I'd sure like to have you and the lieutenant come watch me wrestle tonight.
Thanks, Toby. Maybe some other time.
Oh, it'll be a great show. Tonight's my turn to win.
Yeah, well, we'll see. So long, Toby.
So long.
Rank.
Yeah?
That connection between Mike Burton and this racket didn't sound kosher. Was that for the record?
No, Walt. But Toby will never see the record. Helen, honey, please. Cut that Victrola off, will you?
Rick, you still didn't tell me if Mike really intended to get mixed up with Fenner and Cooley.
Well, he did. That's where he was getting the extra money he spoke about to Toby. Oh, excuse me.
Rick, where are you going?
I'm just going to shut this guy off. He's putting me to sleep.
Oh, I suppose you could do better.
Well, you think not? Honey, just sit down and listen to me. Pale hands I loved beside the Shalimar. Where are you now? Now tell me, honey, how do I rate alongside that suffering crooner on the record?
That record happens to be an original release. The suffering crooner is Enrico Caruso.
Oh. Where does a guy go to slash his wrist?
Dick Powell will be back in just a moment. And now, once more, here's your Rexall family druggist.
No faster-acting aspirin made. That's Rexall aspirin. Yes, when taken with water, the 5 full grains of pure aspirin contained in every Rexall aspirin tablet are ready to go to work for you even before they reach your stomach. So next time you have a headache, remember Rexall aspirin. There's no faster-acting aspirin made. Ask for Rexall aspirin at Rexall drugstores everywhere. And remember, you can depend on any drug product that bears the name Rexall.
Good health to all from Rexall.
Ladies and gentlemen, for those who recognize it, the future is for sale. You can buy it now, today. You can buy it by saving. And there's no surer, more profitable means of saving than through the purchase of United States savings bonds. In the first place, United States saving bonds are safe, guaranteed to your country. Moreover, they put your saving dollars to work for you. For every $3 invested today in Class E bonds, you'll receive $4 back in just 10 years when the bonds mature. So make sure of the years ahead with United States savings bonds. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight's script was written by Harold Jack Bloom and Joe Moorheim. Music was under the direction of Frank Worth. And this is Dick Powell asking you to listen in again next Wednesday at this same time when we do it all over again. Please listen in. I'm going to hit somebody on the head. Good night, everybody.
You have just heard transcribed Richard Diamond, Private Detective, starring Dick Powell. This is Bill Foreman speaking.
Hiya, beautiful.
Get lost, Bristlepuss. You need a shave.
But I have shaved. What else do you want me to do?
Silly boy, she wants you to go stag.
Go stag? But why?
Because Stag is Rexall's exclusive line of men's good grooming aids, like Stag Brushless Shave Cream. No fuss, no massage, just smooth it on, and presto, you get a clean, close shave. Your face stays smooth and whiskerless all day long.
I'll do it. I'll go Stag.
That's it. Join the Stag line now at Rexall drugstores everywhere.
Yes, to make girls care. Go Stag.
Jack Late tells stories of the underworld, Friday on NBC.
This, I believe. Catherine Bottigheimer is a Louisville, Kentucky housewife whose interests lie in the promotion of responsible citizenship. She has set an example in this field by her own tireless leadership in the Girl Scout movement and the League of Women Voters. This is Mrs. Bottigheimer's creed.
The summer I was 10, I was allowed to visit in a nearby city where a number of my elderly relatives lived. Among these was Cousin Teresa, an oldish widow who lived with her middle-aged spinster daughters. In the course of my duties as a member of the younger generation, I was required to visit Cousin Teresa for an hour or more at frequent intervals. I found her always knitting, crocheting, or sewing, and always she urged me to let her teach me her skills so that I, too, could pass idle hours profitably. I based my refusal of these offers on the fact that the articles on which Cousin Teresa expended her time were neither attractive in color nor interesting in design. I wanted to make gaily colored scarves, mittens, or ruffled petticoats. At that point, Cousin Teresa revealed to me a philosophy, which, while it did little to change my attitude at the time, apparently made a lasting impression on my later behavior. Work is the sweetening of life, she said. You are a plain child, and as far as one can now determine, not endowed with any outstanding talents. You must learn quite early how much your happiness will depend on the useful services you will perform. These articles you call ugly and uninteresting are used by children in orphanages, old people in pauper homes, and patients in charity hospitals. My satisfaction lies in having performed a needed service, one that was at hand, and also one which many others would disdain. I have found that to turn one's back on a job to be done, no matter how drab, is a fatal error. Work, in and of itself, is not only healing, it is infinitely sweet. I am sure that these words did not create in me a firm and instantaneous resolve to go and do likewise. I was convinced that Cousin Teresa was more than a little queer, and that sooner or later the family would have to do something about her. When I was asked to set forth what I believe, I found it necessary to take a good, long look at what I do. For what one does, somehow, expresses most sincerely what one believes. Imagine my own amazement when I discovered that nearly all my adult years have been devoted to much the same kind of activity in which Cousin Teresa found her satisfaction. Of course, I have not fashioned utilitarian garments. Mechanized production has long since removed the need for the handmade items of the far-removed day. Like the responsibilities I carry in my family and in my household, my assignments during my long years in the League of Women Voters have not been glamorous. I have always been in the labor battalions where the heart-breaking and the back-breaking jobs are done. I have, albeit unwittingly, turned my heart, my mind, and my physical energy to jobs at hand. Through the frightening years before and during World War II, through the hazards of child-rearing, of watching loved ones sicken and die, of personal illness whose very presence carried emotional threats, and now again, in the frustration and near despair produced by the state of the world today, I have found that the application of elbow grease and a relative peace of mind have much to do with each other. The quotation from Ecclesiastes, "Whatsoever thy hand findeth to do, do it with thy might," has come alive for me.
That was Catherine Bottigheimer, an active, conscientious citizen who lives her beliefs.
Ipana Toothpaste and Sal Hepatica present
Mr. District Attorney, champion of the people, defender of truth, guardian of our fundamental rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Mr. District Attorney is brought to you by Ipana Toothpaste and Sal Hepatica. Ipana for the smile of beauty. Sal Hepatica for the smile of health. Ipana, Sal Hepatica. And it is shared in our duty as District Attorney, now to prosecute to the limit of the law all persons accused of crimes perpetrated within this county, but to protect with equal vigor the rights and privileges of all citizens. One of the real tragedies in some criminal histories, ladies and gentlemen, is the exaggerated role minor circumstances play in the making of a transgressor. In tonight's unusual case of spring fever, for example, it is apparent that insignificant factors, a mood, a normal impatient yearning for success, and a spring night, all combine to help make a criminal. We begin at dusk in a large park here in the center of our city.
Nicky,
Yeah.
feel the grass. Oh, isn't it wonderful?
Huh?
When you run your hand through it, I mean, it's almost like velvet.
You'll catch cold lying on the ground like this, Mary.
No, I won't. Couldn't on a night like this. The city seems a million miles away.
Only a block.
I know, but it seems that way. Oh, listen. Hold my hand, Nicky.
Mary, listen a minute.
After we're married, or when we have children, I mean, I'm going to bring them over here every night. This same spot.
Mary, I saw Deuce Wilton today.
Nicky, you promised. You know what he is. He's trouble. He even has a police record.
Listen, Mary, you gotta understand this. Deuce Wilton and I, well, we...
Nicky, tell me. Tell me quick. Scared all over. Nicky.
Don't get mad, honey. We got some money, that's all, this afternoon.
What?
Enough for everything. We can get married, fix up your old lady's arm, take a trip even. Why, we...
What did you do? Tell me, Nicky. Tell me now.
We stuck up a filling station.
Oh.
Well?
Is there more, Nicky? I want to know it all.
More?
What else?
The filling station guy is dead.
All right, Brophy. String that line along the driveway. Yeah, that's right.
Okay, Chief. About Harrington? Well, we got the ropes up, Chief. This whole side of the gas station is closed to traffic.
Oh, good. Has the lab truck arrived yet, Miss Perrin?
Yes, it has, Chief. Oh, and the medical examiner wants to know if he can take the body downtown.
Oh, yes, I believe so.
Okay.
We have all the measurements, haven't we, Harrington?
That's right, Chief, and pictures, too. I had Ray shoot from all the angles.
Fine. Well, all right, then. We'll let the lab crew go to work on the driveway here.
Why, did you find something, Chief?
Well, you never know in a case like this. Tire marks, pieces of broken glass. Even the oil that dripped out of the car is standing here at the pumps. It's just as well to cover everything.
Check. The diagrams ought to be easy, though, Chief. As I see it, the car pulled off the street and stopped right here in front of this gas pump.
Yes, I was just going over that. The attendant was inside the office, wasn't he?
Yeah, that's right, Chief. According to the dame across the street, he was.
She's here, Miss Miller?
The witness?
Yes.
Yes, Ted's with her inside.
All right, I'll talk to her in just a moment. We're agreed then, Harrington. The attendant came out of the office, approached the car about here.
Yeah, that's right. That's my guess, Chief. One of the men must have got out of the car right here where the chalk mark is and backed him up to the office door.
Yes, and then opened the cash drawer. Oh, how much do they get, incidentally?
Well, Mac's checking the ledgers, Chief. About $400, he thinks.
Oh, as much as that.
Yeah, that's right, Chief. It was just before they changed shifts in these stations, you know. The whole 8 hours take was in the drawer.
Yes, I see. This is the spot here where the attendant was shot down.
Mm-hmm. Where the red chalk is, Chief. I figure he must have made a move, maybe toward that phone, and maybe the bums got nervous.
Yes, that seems likely. And now, what about that witness, Harrington? Anything at all?
Nothing positive on the car, Chief. A black sedan, she says. No make.
License?
She didn't look.
She does have a good description of one of the men. There were two in the car.
Oh.
And the one was considerably younger than the other, she says.
Well, let's get her story then, Harrington. I want to know where she was standing, what she saw, and, oh, yes, if she can point out either of the men in the file.
Well, she's waiting, Chief.
Good. We'll get right down to work.
Wait a second, little girl. Hey, Nick, get this now. Get this ending. It's swell, Deuce.
Mr. Wilton, you've got to talk to me.
This is your girl, huh, Nick? I told you about Mary, Deuce. We're going to get married. Are we, honey? Nice-looking kid. Only, you made a mistake, Nick. Me? What do you mean, Deuce? I don't get you.
I made Nicky bring me here, Mr. Wilton. I want to talk to you.
Hold it, Bright Eyes. Hey, look, Nick. Look at the tip of my nose. Hey, come on, look close. Yeah? What? No harm, Nicky. That's just so you remember. I told you not to bring anybody up. You don't have to hit a guy, Deuce. Mary made me bring her. Yeah? Well, what for, Blue Eyes?
Because Nicky's in trouble, that's why. You killed a man this afternoon, didn't you? Yes, and I won't let Nicky get mixed up in it.
Mary, will you shut up? Lay off, Nick. Go on, little girl. Talk some more.
There's no more to say. I just want you to keep away from Nicky, that's all. Oh, yes, and he's going to give you back his share of the money.
Oh, well, that's real nice of him. Now,
Go on, Nicky. Give it back to him.
Deuce, listen, she's excited. Clam up. You're just a little late, you know, little girl. Nicky is mixed up with me. Plenty mixed up.
He didn't kill anybody. You did.
Oh, you know that, too, huh? You get more mixed up all the time, Nick. Oh, well, before I forget, I got a little present for you.
Nick, that's a gun.
Deuce, but no need to get excited. It's for you. What? Go on, take it.
Nicky, don't.
Take it, I said. And as for you, kid, get lost. You think the cops don't want you, Nicky, just because I did the shoot?
But I don't...
We're partners, sister, right up to here.
Oh, Nicky, he can't do this to you. He can't.
Get lost, I said. I got another job lined up, Nick. We'll pull it off as soon as I get the junk case. Another gas station? Yeah, cinch. I figure... Well, what are you staring at?
This isn't true. It can't be. Nicky, come on.
He ain't going, Mary. As a matter of fact, neither are you. Goose, now wait. Don't look so scared, Nick. I just forgot to tell you, that's all, about your girl here.
About me?
Yeah. We're putting you to work, Bright Eyes. Starting with this gas station today.
You put on an alert, Harrington?
Citywide, Chief. It was on the wire at noon.
Good. We may be wrong, of course, but if experience is right, this pair will try another job soon.
Sure, Chief. Like that gang a few weeks back, they knocked over 4 liquor stores, and the 5th one, we nailed it.
Yes, I was thinking of that. Or the Garrettson couple.
Oh, yeah, John and Kay. Same thing, Chief. They specialized in bus drivers.
Excuse me.
Yes.
That artist is here with the first draft.
Oh, thank you, Miss Miller. Ask him to wait.
Honest, Chief? What's more?
Well, it's the usual. I had one of the men in the drafting room talk to that witness. He's doing a sketch from her description.
Oh, good. Everything helps, Chief. Me, I'll just keep looking for bums around filling stations.
Yes.
Hello?
Well, the woman's hazy on some important details, but I thought we'd try her on a few sketches before we go any further.
Uh-huh.
Then there are the lab reports from the filling station itself.
All right.
I'll go over those this afternoon.
Say, Chief?
Yes, Miss Miller, what is it?
That was the 19th precinct.
Yes?
They just got a report on the Green Top filling station in their district.
Yeah, what report, Miss Miller?
Oh, it's not a holdup, Harrington. But the station attendant was warned this morning. You know, they all were.
Well, for Pete's sake, will you get to the point?
Well, I'm trying to, Harrington. This attendant says a man has been hanging around his station since noon.
Harrington. I got you, Chief. If that joint's going to be cased, we're in.
Nicky, please stop the car, please, honey.
That's it up ahead, Mary. See? The Green Top service station. You said it'd be quiet.
We can't do this, I tell you. Oh, Nicky, listen to me. Deuce isn't here now. We can drive right to the police station and tell them the whole thing.
Mary, will you use your head?
But I don't
Let me
see what...
talk, Mary. We can park here a minute.
I still say
Maybe there's nothing we can do. Don't you understand that? If I go to the cops now, Deuce will say I was with him on the other job.
But they might make allowances.
Will you listen to me? We gotta knock this joint off and get back to Deuce in 1 hour. If we don't, he'll...
You what?
Honey, he wouldn't stop at anything. Take your old lady.
Mama? What about her?
You don't want her to get... well, hurt, do you?
Nicky.
Think of things like that, Mary. If we ran on Deuce, he might do anything.
Oh, Nicky, no. Why, Mama's just... Oh.
You see, kid? We got it.
I'm scared, Nicky. I don't want to do this.
Take it easy, Mary. I'm turning into the station.
Oh, Nicky, please, can't we?
Quiet, baby. There's the attendant coming out of the office.
I'm so scared I can't even see.
It's funny. Deuce said the guy was just a kid. And here we go, baby. Come on, open the door and get out.
Now?
Nothing's going to happen. Go on. I'll be right behind you.
All right.
Fill her up, sir? What? Oh, yeah. Fill her up. Regular or high test? High test. Boy, it's a wonderful day, ain't it? You'll find out, pal. Start backing up. Huh? You heard me. Into the office, buddy. Stand in front of me, Mary.
Okay.
I ain't moving, son. Get in there, I said. Come on. Listen to me, son. Listen hard. We've been waiting for you. You ain't got a chance. Shut up. Come on, Mac. Move, I said. Look for yourself, son. Go on, look. You see those men on the corner? They're detectives, boy.
Nicky, look.
That's right. The other side, too, Nick. See? We've been waiting for you. Why don't you be a good kid and make it easy? Mary, come here.
Nicky, let go, Nicky. You're hurting my arm.
See this copper? Got my gun right in this kid's back.
Oh, Nicky, don't shoot me. Please don't.
Shut up, Mary. All right, copper, start something. Let the girl go, Nick. Go ahead, start something.
Oh, let me go. I haven't done anything, Nicky. Let me go, please.
Getting back in the car, you understand, copper? That's it, Mary. Just come straight back.
You're hurting me, please.
Don't be a fool, Nick.
Huh?
Let the girl go. Right in the car. Easy does it. Now get this, wise guy. One shot. Get that at us or the tires or anything else. One shot, and I let her have it right here.
Mister, do what he says. I don't want to get shot.
You understand me, mister? What do you? Rosie! Hold your fire! Shut the door, Mary. Slam it, I said.
I am, Nicky.
Jimmy! Ned! Sullivan! Hold your fire! Let them get away.
In just a few moments, we will pick up the developments of this interesting case. But first, here's an important question.
Tell me, who should know best the difference between toothpaste?
Who should know best the difference between toothpaste? Why, that's easy. Who else but your dentist? That highly skilled friend of yours whose life work is the care of your teeth, the health of your gums. So just ask your dentist about Ipana toothpaste and gentle gum massage.
So many dentists recommend massage.
And a nationwide survey shows more dentists recommend Ipana toothpaste than any other dentifrice. And wait a moment. More dentists personally use iPenna than any other toothpaste.
That's right. There's an overwhelming preference for iPenna. You see, iPenna, followed by gentle gum massage, is the modern way to aid the health of your gums and the brilliance of your smile.
Help your dentist help your smile. For remember, your dentist knows best the difference between toothpastes.
Begin now getting your new iPenna smile. Taste the freshness, feel the cleanness, see the sparkle.
Get iPenna toothpaste for your iPenna smile. And now back to Mr. District Attorney.
Well, I just had to use my own judgment, Chief. What decided me was the kid himself, this Nicky.
How do you mean, Harrington?
Well, I'm looking for a murder, Miss Miller, right?
Yes.
A guy that looks something like that sketch the Chief had drawn up?
Yes, from the description by that witness.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, okay, so when this Nicky kid uses the girl as a shield, I think to myself, now, Harrington, if you start something, that little girl might get shot.
Yes, go on.
Now, if this Nicky looked at all like the killer I'm after, Chief, maybe I'd have handled it different, but it ain't the same face at all. Well, I let him get away.
It's all right, I agree with you completely. It was the only thing to do.
Oh, thanks, Chief. Of course, we got right on it after the car pulled out. I got every precinct in town alerted.
Well, I shouldn't think it'd be so hard from now on, Harrington. The description you gave of Nicky and Mary's in all the papers this noon.
Yes, what puzzles me is the new set of people. The first filling station robbery, the murder, that is, was done by two men.
Sure. And the one that saw one of them sure ain't talking about this Nicky, Chief.
Well, we're making some progress, at least. The ballistics report is in on the shooting.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, Chief, that other report is here, too. The one on the tire mark.
Oh, yes, thank you, Miss Miller. I've got Taylor on the files, Harrington. He's checking all the pictures that look anything like the murder.
Oh, excuse me. Hello, District Attorney's office.
Yeah, Chief, what about the ballistics report? Anything in it?
Speak slowly, please. I can't hear you.
No.
Yes, I have that. Mrs. John Evans. Your daughter, Mary? Oh, in the newspapers. Yes. What was that? I'm sorry, I didn't get that. Nicky, what?
Oh, for crying out loud, let me have that, Miss Miller. This is what we've been waiting for.
There was several, Deuce. I didn't even shoot at the car. You ought to get one of these things, Nicky. You can play good music on it.
Mr. Wilton, you gotta do something. That policeman saw us. They'll be looking everywhere.
Lucky you told me to smear the license plates with mud, Deuce. Otherwise, I'd have traced the car here. A kazoo, I think they call it. Ever play one, little girl?
Mr. Wilton, please listen to us. They'll be looking for Nicky.
You're just humming them, sort of. Listen once. Deuce, will you stop it? We're in trouble, Deuce. You gotta tell us what to do. You got any money? Just what's left of my share. Any more?
I have money. I mean, I can get some. They owe me back pay at the store where I work.
You can't go there, Mary. Somebody recognizes. Why can't she? You're the only one they'll be looking for. How far is this place, sister?
It's the up-to-the-minute cleaners. It isn't far.
Mary, no, I won't let you. You'll do what I tell you, Nicky. Get your hat on, Mary. Go get that dough.
And about your daughter, Mary.
District Attorney's office calling. Is this the up-to-the-minute cleaners? Well, just a moment, please. The District Attorney wants to talk to you.
Mary Evans?
What?
Hi, Mary.
Oh, let me go. Please let me go.
Harrington's the name, Mary. Remember me? What, are you on your way to Nick with that pay envelope, eh?
I don't know what you're talking about.
You know, it's funny, but I still think you're a nice kid, Mary. Otherwise, I'd have let you lead me right back to your boyfriend.
I don't understand.
You will. I just don't want you to get hurt. Come on, Mary. We got a date downtown.
I think you're telling the truth, Mary. Don't you, Harrington?
I think she is, Chief.
Now, don't you see, Mary, it isn't Nick we want so much. It's the other man. Now, there is another man, isn't there?
Please. I don't know anything.
Let me have that sketch, Harrington.
Yeah, right here, Chief.
Now, this is the man we mean, Mary. You know him, don't you?
Oh.
Don't you?
Oh, please, won't you just leave me alone?
Can I try, Chief?
Yes, sure, of course, sir.
All right, Mary. Nick's in trouble. You know that, don't you?
Yes, sir, I do.
All right, Mary, listen to me. Being in trouble is one thing, and murder is another.
But Nick didn't kill anybody, honest.
Who did?
I can't squeal on Nick.
Mary.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but this is important.
Yes, sure.
One of the detectives you assigned just called in. He's located the, wait a minute, I got it written down here. Oh, the 717.
What? You sure, Miss Miller?
Sure, he's waiting on the phone for instructions.
Harrington.
Yeah, Chief, what is it?
Everything we need, I hope. Oh, Miss Miller.
Yes, sir.
Call the emergency crew, will you please?
Huh?
4 cars on the truck.
Right away, Chief.
The riot squad? What for, Chief?
For a killer, Harrington. Come on, let's go.
Crews are all stationed, Chief.
What about the street blockade?
All set up. They got traffic stopped for 2 blocks in every direction.
That's fine. In the back of the building?
I put Brophy back there with Squad C.
All right, then we're ready, I think. Is the public address system set up?
Yeah, here's the mic right here, Chief. Just give me a chance to get up those stairs.
Oh, that won't be necessary, I hope. Just keep your eye on that doorway. All right, let's get this turned on. Hello? Turn this on, will you, Jack? Hello? Oh, that's fine. Thanks.
Yeah, let's not play with these babies too long, Chief. They're tricky.
Nick Ogden. This is the district attorney, Ogden. Come out with your hands in the air.
Nothing yet, Chief.
We know you're in there, Ogden. You and the other man. You haven't got a chance.
Chief, they doused the light in the apartment.
You have 10 seconds, Ogden.
1,001.
Both of you come out with your hands over your head.
1,004. 1,005.
Watch that doorway, Harrington.
Yeah, I am, Chief. 1,008. 1,009. 1,010.
Harrington, stop.
They're shooting, Chief. Crazy bums. They're in that hallway.
Stay down, Harrington. I'll signal the men.
Okay, get out of my way, Chief. I'm going in.
No, not without me, you're not. Come on.
Now watch it, Chief. Keep down.
There go the tear gas bombs.
We can use this car for a shield, Chief. Okay?
Yeah.
See you. Hey, boy, they're shooting pretty good. You okay, Chief?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I'll signal the second squad.
Hey, Chief, look. Here comes one of them.
Yes, I see him.
Watch it.
Come and get me, you lousy cops!
He's fallen, Harrington, on the sidewalk.
Yeah, watch it, Chief. There's still one more.
Yeah.
I'm coming in to get you, punk.
Harrington, look out.
Don't shoot your rat. Shoot.
Come on, copper! Come on in and get me!
Don't worry, mister. I'm coming.
You couldn't take the kill.
Harrington. Hey, Chief, give the signal.
It's all over. Right.
Hey, Nicky.
Harrington, you're all right?
Yeah, sure, Chief. And you? Nicky.
Mary.
Mary didn't squeal, Nick. Is that what you want to know?
Yeah. Is he dead, Harrington?
Yes, Chief, he is. How's the other one?
Yes, same thing. Both of them all through.
Your district attorney will return in just a moment to explain the capture of Deuce and Nick. But first, a reminder that tomorrow morning a lot of people will wake up to hear... And to a lot of people, that sound can mean a wonderful morning with a good day ahead. But to a lot of other people, there's another sound that can mean the same thing. And that's the sparkling sound of sal hepatica in a glass of water. Yes, and unlike slow-acting laxatives, a sparkling glass of sal hepatica, when you get up, brings quick, gentle relief, usually within an hour. That means you don't have to feel dull and headachy all day, waiting until night to take the laxative you needed in the morning.
And if at the same time you're troubled with excess gastric acidity, let sal hepatica help sweeten your stomach.
So keep a bottle of sal hepatica handy. Then anytime you need a laxative,
morning, noon, or night,
see how much faster you feel better thanks to gentle, speedy sal hepatica. Now here's your district attorney.
The two sprawled bodies on the sidewalk are the real answers to tonight's case, ladies and gentlemen. The final payment in full for murder. As for Mary, we're quite sure that with proper help, her rehabilitation will be complete.
Poor kid, at least she tried.
Yes, she did, Miss Miller. But for the real solution, we have a great deal of excellent police work to thank. The laboratory technicians, detective crews, research men, they all combined to make the capture of Deuce Wilton and Nick Ogden possible.
Yeah, that call from Mary's mother helped too, Chief. When I saw her after she thought maybe her Mary was the girl in the newspapers, she told me where the kid worked.
And then when you found out that she had pay coming, you just waited for her. Isn't that right, Harrington?
That's right, Miss Miller. But it was the chief, though, that led us to Deuce's joint.
Well, thanks to the lab, Harrington. As you know, we made a careful check on every criminal in the files whose face resembled that in the sketch our artist drew up.
The one he drew from the witness's report.
Right, Miss Miller. One of these men in the file was Deuce Wilton, and in due course, one of the detectives checked out his apartment.
Yeah, and his garage, Chief. Don't forget that.
Yes, Harrington, and his garage. Well, there you see our man found what we were looking for. A rear left tire, size 717, a tire that fit exactly into the pattern we found on the driveway of the filling station.
And when he found that, you knew he'd found the killer, right, Chief?
Exactly, Miss Miller.
And that was that. Right.
Oh, Chief, don't forget graduation.
Graduation?
Oh, yes, indeed. Right now, with school graduations at hand, many young people are wondering what life work to take up.
Well, do you have the answer?
Well, I want to suggest that these intelligent young folks give careful consideration to teaching as a career.
Just what does teaching offer, Chief?
Well, teachers enjoy such advantages as security, long vacations, and now a rising standard of pay. But even more important, the teachers hold a unique position of honor and respect in the community. Quite naturally, people look up to a teacher. For it is the teacher who molds the characters and futures of our children, and through our children shapes the future of our country. And that's why I want to say to every young person graduating from school this spring, give a thought, a very serious thought, to a teaching career. Teaching is not only good work, it is a truly great profession.
And now what about next week?
Well, friends, we have another exciting story for you next week in the case of the deadly snowflake. Another dramatic episode in our constant war on crime. And so until then, thank you and good night.
Here it is, men. Yes, here it is. Brand new liquid cream that grooms hair without an unsightly, greasy look. Sentry, S-E-N-T-R-Y, Sentry Hair Cream. What makes Sentry so different? Unlike most hair creams, there's no mineral oil in Sentry. Just pure vegetable oil. No whitish film on your hair. Sentry seems to vanish on your hair, but Sentry's secret ingredient actually keeps hair neat longer without an objectionable greasy look. Guard your grooming with Sentry. S-E-N-T-R-Y. Sentry Hair Cream. Hi, Ingram, yourself.
The names of all characters of tonight's dramatization are fictitious, and any resemblance to names of living persons or actual places is purely coincidental. Our stars were Jay Justin in the title role, Len Doyle as Harrington, and Vicky Vola as Miss Miller. The music was under the direction of Peter Van Steeden. The program is produced and directed by Edward A. Byron and written by Robert Shaw. Mr. District Attorney was originated by Phillips H. Lord. Remember, Ipana toothpaste for the smile of beauty, Sal Hepatica for the smile of health. Bristol Myers invites you to tune in again next week for Duffy's Tavern and Mr. District Attorney.
This is NBC, the national broadcasting company.